Welcome to Scottish Swimming's official YouTube channel. No matter if you compete or participate in swimming, disability swimming, diving, synchro, open water, water polo or masters, if you're a teacher, tutor or coach, or simply interested in what we're up to, this is the place to find it, from wherever you are in the world. On our channel, you can watch our key events live or on demand, or simply the highlights afterwards, all for free 24/7. If you subscribe, you'll not miss any new videos, so what are you waiting for?
It's important that we ensure every child learns to swim for safety, health, fitness and fun.
I think it's really good bonding with your baby. I think you get that kind of, they completely rely on you in the water and you're supporting them. And it's also knowing that they're going to then have that life skill to take on with them, I think is really important. So it's quite nice knowing that you're doing that for your child.
We've been coming to swimming lessons for about a year now, and when Sam started swimming he just wasn't confident at all. He was holding on to me, and we went to the baby and parent classes to start with, and then we've progressed to here, and his confidence, what he can do now in the water is amazing.
I think it's really important on the family aspect being able to swim so that your children can be safe with you, because if you're uneasy in the water, that's then portrayed over into your children as well. They pick up quite easily on that.
As a head teacher, I have to say I'm truly passionate about the children's swimming. In my 20 years here, it's the one sport that children have been involved in that I can truthfully say I have seen them grow and blossom in confidence in front of my eyes.
Going through, they're doing lessons from babies and then onwards, and then they get to that stage where they have all these skills. Then it opens up things like we have water polo groups that children go into, synchronised swimming and diving, because you can't try these things without being able to swim, so it opens up a huge amount of doors.
It's really important for children with disabilities to learn to swim. It can get them out of a wheelchair, it can get them supported in the water, enjoying the freedom of movement, and they're unique, these children, and they're on their own special journey. You know, and it's really important that the swimming teachers take them as far as they can on that journey.
I think it's important that every child learns to swim, one, from a safety aspect. As they get older, it's important that they know how to be safe in water, and two, the health benefits from swimming are incredible. Children's respiratory systems become stronger, their hearts are working, they're getting that exercise that they need, and they're learning all these life skills that encourages them to stay healthy throughout their elder years as well.
To swim age 5 at my local pool, and believe it's important for every child in Scotland to be given the opportunity to learn to swim before they leave primary school.
We need your support at both a local and a national level to ensure every child can swim in Scotland.
I love swimming.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome back to the Aberdeen Sports Village. We're about to start session 11 of the 2014 Scottish Gas National Age Group Championships. Thanks to our event partners, Aberdeen Sports Village, who are looking after us royally here up in Aberdeen, and our sponsors, Scottish Gas, Speedo and Scottish Salmon, and with the support of Sport Scotland. I'm joined in the commentary box this afternoon by legend Kerry Buchan.
I wouldn't say legend.
I just did. Sorry, Kerry. And we'll be talking you through this afternoon's events. Just we chat through what's coming up. So we'll start with the boys 200 butterfly. And there'll be 6 heats of that, followed by 200 freestyle for the girls. 100 breaststroke for the boys. 100 backstroke for the girls, and we save the best till last. The 1500 freestyle, 4 heats of that, followed by the early heats, 2 heats in the girls medley relay. 10 to 14s, so it's going to be a good afternoon. Just looking at that program, Kerry, starting with that boys 200 butterfly. We've got some strong swimmers going in this one. Ewan McComish, Ian Fletcher, and Tom Robertson.
Yeah, they all did a really good 100 fly, so they should all be up there in the 200 this morning.
Ian Fletcher and Tom Robinson going in the final heat, the 13-year-olds, and Ewan McComish in the 14 age group goes in the heat before him. So that could be very interesting indeed. Then we move to the 200 freestyle. Of course, this is all about heats going into the finals this evening. On day 1, Sophie Smith set that new 12-year-old 800 record. So going down to the 200, how do you think she'll cope on 200?
Well, I think she also did another event yesterday, which was shorter. So I think she should be all right, yeah. And she's in the middle lane, so she'll have people coming at her from all lanes.
So she'll go in heat 9 in the 200 freestyle. In the following heat, Anna Fleming, who's looked strong.
Yeah, she 58 in the 100, so she'll have the speed to go out. It's just whether or not the other girls can catch her on the second 100.
So that's the 200 freestyle, some great young talents in that one. And then into the boys 100 breaststroke. And 2 14-year-olds who have pretty much dominated proceedings so far are George Clough and Finlay Deans, Warrender and City of Aberdeen. They're going head-to-head in their heat.
Yeah, in pretty much every event they've been going head-to-head in this age group. So, yeah, interesting to see what they can do in the breaststroke. I think maybe Clough has got the better breaststroke, but Finlay Deans had a great relay leg last night in the freestyle, so he's on form, so it'll be a good race.
Yes, that could be interesting. George Clough was the winner of the gold medal in the 200 breaststroke, so he'll be looking to double up on that one. After that, we've got girls 100 backstroke. Neve Ritchie goes in heat 9, the Warrender swimmer, 13-year-old. She looks impressive so far in these championships.
Yeah, sorry. And then in lane heat 10, we've got Lexi Waller as well, who's also been pretty impressive this week so far.
Yep, so if that runs to form, the 2 13-year-olds, it could be an Edinburgh battle there in the final. Warren does Neve Ritchie and Hart's Lexi Waller. But there may be 1 or 2 others that just cut in about them. Maybe South Ayrshire Megan Niven on the 109 entry time, so that's pretty close to the other 2.
Yeah.
Then into the 1500s. Young McComish might be the man there, but again, George Clough back again.
Yeah, he's back in again, back in for more. No rest much for him, but yeah, it should be a good battle between them. There's only a second between them, so that's a long race. So they'll be battling it out, I'm sure.
So did you ever fancy breaststroke 1500 doubler?
No, 200 was long enough. I did do 1500s though when I was younger, 15, 16. I actually had the Scottish Junior Record short course for the 1500.
Oh, wow.
But that was the last time I did it.
See what a career you could have had as a distance swimmer. So just a reminder about the ways in which you can contact us. Of course, we've been hot with activity on the Twitter feed, #StagsLive. Been over 90,000 reads on that, but we're just about now to go into the first heat of the boys 200 butterfly. So away we go. Bryce Proctor of Dumfries goes in 4. Callum MacDonald of Fife Performance in 5. Robert Allen of St Thomas in 6. And Rory Matheson of Aberdeen in 7. Entry times here 2:54, 2:55. Just while we're on the subject of social media interactions, we're also on Instagram and SoundCloud. Flickr, Instagram /Scottish Swimming. Same for SoundCloud, SoundCloud /Scottish Swimming. Lots of interesting stuff on both of them. Flickr as well. Lots of terrific pictures. But through the 50, Rory Matheson leads 36.19. The Aberdeen swimmer train in the international school here in Aberdeen, also now in the sports village here. And he's now just been overtaken, in particular by the Fife swimmer Callum MacDonald. So a good second 50 from Callum. 2 meters or so up, coming to halfway. 1:18.96. And he has an advantage of just over 2 seconds. The other 3 pretty well matched.
It's interesting, Callum's stroke is really long for a 200 fly. He's got a rhythm, but it's a slow one. If he, in comparison to little Bryce Proctor in lane 4, whose stroke rate's a lot higher.
So does that just reflect maybe that he's a bigger boy than the others?
Yeah, he is. Just taller and a little bit more power, which is getting him through the water.
Just 12 years old. 2 12-year-olds, an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old here. So hats off to Dumfries' Bryce Proctor, 11-year-old, making the qualifying time for this event. That's a pretty rare achievement, actually.
It is, yeah, one of the youngest that I've seen doing 200 fly.
2:05.93 as they head for home, so that's around a 47-second split. So looking like something maybe 3 seconds or so inside Callum's entry time, maybe 2 seconds. Certainly no doubt, I think, now that he's going to take this first heat. The early leader, Rory Matheson, in second place, about a body length up on Robert Allen of Arbroath St Thomas. So it's going to be the first win to Fife Performance. So a nice win from Callum, 2:51.85. So useful improvement on his 2:54 entry time, over 2 seconds. Second place, Rory Matheson, 2:58.39. And third place, Robert Allen, 2:59.27. And for these youngsters, I guess an awful lot of these entry times will be short course conversions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of them have maybe never done a long course 200 fly, and it's hard work, so hats off to them for that.
They must think that wall is miles away.
Yeah.
So we move on to heat number 2. Blair Watrett of Dumfries goes in 1. Ewan McGowan of South Aberdeenshire in 2. Finlay Patrick of South Lanarkshire in 3. Morgan Eriksson of South Aberdeenshire in 4. Cameron Murray of Dundee City Aquatics in 5. Keith Brown, City of Aberdeen in 6. Jonah Walsh of Inverleith in 7. Fraser Wilson of Midlothian in 8. Owen Strachan of Carnegie in 9. And Connor Walsh of Dundee City Aquatics in 10. This one is looking a fair bit faster at the first 50. Jonah Walsh of Inverleith turns 34.06. That's a couple of seconds faster than the first heat. Inverleith's a programme that's having a bit of a renaissance at the moment. Some very enthusiastic young coaches getting involved there. Of course, a long Edinburgh-based programme alongside Warrender and Hearts. And Jonah, one of their youngsters, is having a bit of pressure now applied to him, in particular by Owen Strachan in lane 9, and also the Dundee swimmer in lane 5, Cameron Murray. And it's Cameron now, I think, who's going to have the advantage at the halfway point, 1:15.44, now 3.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. Cameron winner in the Midlands distance meet a couple of months ago, the Olympia pool in Dundee.
Seemed to have a better turn than a lot of them there as well. He seemed to come out in front.
You don't think he's necessarily away yet. Owen
No,
Strachan.
the Carnegie swimmer yet. Coming up on the outside.
Yes, he looks very strong there.
He's just picked up his stroke rate there, the Owen Strachan, so
yeah,
he's taking the lead now, I think.
Yes, I could see Coach Tony Doubleday there. Obviously gave him the signal, I suspect, there to get a move on, and he's responded nicely there and leads at the 1:50, 1:59.05. 3/10 up now on Cameron Murray. I think it is between these two. Third place, the early leader, Jonah Walsh, but Owen Strachan in 9, getting very enthusiastic support from the crowd here.
Yeah, the Carnegie support has been really good this week, so continuing doing that.
And Cameron Murray is still right there with him, so with 10 meters to go, this is a tight one. Cameron Murray in the pink cap just has the edge now, I think, so he has come back strongly now down this last length, and he takes it in 2:41.93. Entry time 2:45, so another good improvement, a big improvement for Owen Strachan. He entered on 2:50, comes in 2:43. Third place, Jonah Walsh, 2:46.12, and also a nice PB for him, 3.5 seconds. Still waiting for the board to scroll to confirm that result. I don't know whether there's any consultations going on. Can't see the referees from where we're sitting. But they are taking their time here, just to call it. Oh, it does. Well, no, not yet. Not yet. Hold your horses. They're clearing the pool, which again suggests that maybe there's some discussion to be had. Cameron Murray, 2:41.93. Some nice shots of the swimmers as they leave the pool. Great to have the underwater camera facility here for these championships, and innovation on our live streaming. Hope you're enjoying that. We're getting a few selfies from the swimmers as they see the camera as they leave.
There's been some quite funny ones, I think.
So keep them coming. So they certainly are taking their time over this result. We don't usually wait this long, but I think we've got it now. So maybe it was just a query about a time if somebody didn't press the pad very hard. But we've got there Cameron Murray first, Owen Strachan second, Jonah Walsh third, as we called it, 2:41.93, the winning time. So we move on to Heat 3. We have Alex Dacres of Stingray in 1, Harris Bruce of Carnegie in 2, George Cowan of St Thomas in 3, Dylan Somerville of South Ayrshire in 4, Joe Tate of Hearts in 5, Craig Greenock of North Lanarkshire in 6, Logan Patterson of Aberdeen in 7, Dominic Kelly of South Lanarkshire in 8, Guy Broadhurst of Aberdeen in 9, and Jamie Booth of Warrender in 10. Not a lot in it at the first turn. Joe Tate of Hearts just getting the touch, 32.91. So again, we're seeing the pace picking up from the previous heat, just over a second faster for the first 50. Joe, East District Age Group champion. 2 pushing him on. Our Navy swimmer, Harris Bruce. Tane Bruce's brother.
To be getting some tips from his older sister, I'm sure.
Yep. It's Tane's birthday today, so I hope Harris got her a nice present. And, well, maybe he thinks that a strong 200 fly swim is the present to give. 1:12.48. Had a really good second 50 there. Leads by a bit over a second. Craig Greenock second now. Third place in lane 7 is Logan Patterson of Aberdeen. And Harris Bruce really working well here.
He's got a really good technique actually. He's not dissimilar to his sister's technique, which is obviously really good, as we saw in that 212 the other day.
Harris then showing what he can do, and 1:53.61, around about a 41 second third 50. So another one of those would be well received. Get him in around the mid 230s. Good race developing in the middle of the pool for second place, not that far behind Harris Bruce. And it's a strong finish from Logan Patterson here, who's alongside Craig Greenock. That raced well. Craig Greenock responding nicely here. I don't think they'll catch Harris. He's going to take this one in lane 2, 2:34.88. And Greenock did just do enough to keep Logan Patterson behind him. 2:35.63 for Greenock. Logan Patterson third, 2:36.23.
Significantly under their entry times. Big smile from Harris there.
Yep. Well, hopefully the cameras pick that up. A handshake with the swimmer in lane 1, and unfortunately there are disqualifications, and that was lane 4. Dylan Somerville, unfortunately, he's disqualified. So the 1, 2, 3. Harris Bruce 2:34.88. Craig Greenock second, 2:35.63. And Logan Patterson was third. So the crowd warming up nicely, getting lots of noise coming through now, encouragement as we go for heat 4. And off we go. Mitchell Stevenson of South Lanarkshire in 1, Stuart Brodie of South Lanarkshire in 2, Scott Lilburn of first in 3, Finlay Dean, City of Aberdeen in 4, Adam Blackshaw of Winsford in 5, Daniel Ferguson of West Lothian in 6, Benyo Jurich of Warrender in 7, Joel Sinclair of Carlisle Aquatics in 8, Blair Geddes of St Thomas in 9, and Jamie McDonald of Warrender in 10. So at the turn, Adam Blackshaw 31.47. So into the cycle seeded heats here, so we expect these to be a fair bit faster than we've seen. Now watching this from Winsford. This is your moment. Shouting at your screen. Encouraging Adam. I'm sure he'll hear you.
Really good climb, I think Adam has there. Moving good for the body, not run and get onto it.
Pretty healthy. Second. Cat, West Lothian. On. Strong lead. Also going nicely in lane 2 is Stuart Brodie of South Lanarkshire. And really get close to Adam Blackshaw here. It's about 3 meters up. 150. 45.45. So yeah, he's lost a fair amount of pace in that curve 50 compared with the second. Is he tying up, do you think, Kerry?
I wouldn't say he's tying up, but his hips are dropping a little bit there, so yeah, it just shows he's a little bit tired and his head's coming a bit higher in order to then get his arms over. But he's got a better rhythm coming down this 450.
And the job, I think, certainly is done now for him. He'll, I think, comfortably qualify for the 14-year-old final with this swim. 2:22.36. Just second away from his entry time. And he'll, I'm sure, look to knock that second and bring more off this evening. Ferguson Robinson taking second. He gets inside his entry time, 2:25.94. Scott Milburn, 2:30.48, takes third place. Let's wait for confirmation of that. I guess it is really tough for these youngsters to just maintain it over the 200 butterfly and just keep everything working as it should be.
Yeah, exactly, especially when a lot of them, like we said earlier, don't swim at long course. So, yeah, it's really, really difficult.
It's quite an advantage for this current generation of swimmers now that we've got this ball with the other Dundee. Tom Cross, of course, with a fantastic facility for the Glaswegians. Starting, of course, your base.
Yeah, yeah, when I was up here it was 20 metre or 25 metre pool sharing in public, so big difference.
Change days. Residential swimmer. Cornish of South Lanarkshire in 5. Wallace in 6. Angus Johnson of Lanarkshire in 8. Ryan Davidson of West Lothian in 9. And Matthias Rietveldt of Midlothian in 10. Cornish perhaps the fancy one here. First, 31.11.
Yeah, Ewan had a great 100 metres, so he should be the one.
Last year. A good late in the final. Halfway there on fast, 26.28. Second faster than Evan Blackshaw's split. Nicely now is the Hart swimmer, that is Angus Johnson, to the podium earlier, and he is having a real strong finish, but it's McComish who takes it, 2:21 seconds dead, and that is the fastest we've seen so far, with one more heat to come. Rory Lawless did just enough to hold off Angus Johnson, takes second, 2:24.35, with Johnson third, 2:24.56. And the swimmer's just coming in. Again, just the ball taking a little while to get scrolled. So just, well, now it is, so I think we're fine. McComish, 2:21. Lawless second, 2:24.35. Johnson third, 2:24.56. So I believe we had a wee issue with the sound quality in that last race, so apologies for that. Hopefully we'll get that sorted very quickly. And we move on to heat number 6. Joe Ewing of Warrender in 1. James Riley of South Lanarkshire in 2. Ian Leach of Delting in 3. Alex McNeil of Borough of Stockton in 4. Tom Robinson of Ulverston in 5. Ian Fletcher of Mulgai and Bearsden in 6. Ryan Retson of First in 7. Finley Hart of East Lothian in 8, Gianna Napolitano of North Lanarkshire in 9, and Finley Hastings of Dumfries in 10. So a lot of 13-year-olds in this final heat, and in particular Robinson and Fletcher you'd think could have a good contest here.
There's Ryan Retson that's taken it out there, and he's already got 5 gold medals this meet so far, so it was a great first 50 for him.
Yes, he is really looking good here. He is a terrific prospect, Ryan Retson. He's dominating really the 13 age group in these championships. As you said, 5 gold medals across the range of strokes and 105.14. He's only in lane 7, so on paper he shouldn't be ahead of these swimmers to his right-hand side.
Really good technique Ryan has though on that fly.
So lane 6 is Ian Fletcher, lane 5 Tom Robinson. They're in 2nd and 3rd. All 3 of these swimmers will be doing it again this evening, I would think, in the 11 to 13 final. And based on the current evidence, you'd have to say Ryan Retson's maybe the favourite there. 41.98, so around just under 37-second split. Retson's entry time 2:28. We'll see a good improvement on that.
Yeah, this is a great swim. His technique's not falling apart at all. Really, really good stroke from Ryan here.
Wow, look at that, 2:18.63. It's a very impressive swim there, and a huge improvement on his entry time, nearly 10 seconds. The question, I guess, is do Ian Fletcher and Tom Robinson have more to give this evening? They'll both be there. 2:21.92 for Fletcher, 2:22.22. All the 2s for Tom Robinson. What do you think, Kerry? Do you think they were holding back?
I don't think so. I think they were racing each other really well. Whether they didn't see Ryan on the outside of them or not, I'm not sure.
He wasn't far away, Ryan Retson, in terms of space. He was just in the adjoining lane, so you think they must have known he was there.
I think for fly, when you're taking it easy, it's actually harder for fly because it's such a hard stroke. So I'll wait and see for tonight.
Yet certainly Ryan Retson will be the boy to beat there. That was really good. So the 200 butterfly is completed there. We have the summary on the board. Retson, Fletcher, Robinson. And next up, the 200 freestyle girls. And this is the first of 10 heats. In the water, we have Lily Haggerty of City of Glasgow in 2, Morven Jackson of South Lanarkshire in 3, Hannah McKenna of Kirkintilloch in 4, Lauren Addyman of North Lanarkshire in 5, Victoria Duncan of First in 6, Nicole Henderson of North Lanarkshire in 7, Emma Jeffrey also of North Lanarkshire in 8, and Lauren Sanderson of Lerwick in 9.
Emma Jeffrey's only 10 years old, so it's great for her to get in and race these slightly older girls.
Because there's a bit of a debate going on at the moment as to how old swimmers should be when they start competing, whether we should be all about training and skills development at this stage and then get them to start competing seriously maybe at sort of 12, 13. Where do you stand on that one?
I think as you should race, you know, at any age. I think the more race practice you get, the better when you're younger. I think meets like this are great to set you up for the future, because at the end of the day, you need to get good at this. But I do agree with the skills. They need, you need to work on them, but you can also do that and race.
So do a bit of both. In fact, a lot of both.
Yeah.
A lot of the skills, certainly. And certainly it's Lauren Addiman of North Lanarkshire, the 12-year-old. She's off to a very good start, the West District Short Course Junior Age Group Champion. And no sign of anybody getting close to her as they come towards the 150 turn. Lane 7 in second place. That's Nicole Henderson, so a North Lanarkshire teammate. 2 seconds back. 52.30. Lauren's split. 41 seconds has split there for the third 50. Maybe the lead shrinking a little bit now. It's going to be a North Lanarkshire 1-2. Close for third. Lane 2, Morven Jackson against lane 6, Victoria Duncan. But Lauren Addiman, never really seriously challenged, comes in 2:31 dead. Nearly 3-second improvement on her time. Her teammate second.
Great last 50 there for Nicole.
Yep, and that's brought her up to 2:32.53. And also around a 2-second improvement. And Lauren Sanderson, the girl from Lerwick, takes third, 2:35.29. So we move to Heat 2. Claire Wallace, the Red 96 in 1. Ailey Redpath of Midlothian in 2. Abby Freeman of North Ayrshire in 3. Ellie Turner of Carnegie in 4. Lucy Calderhead of East Lothian in 5. Helena Mikel of Aberdeen in 6. Hannah Cool of St Thomas in 7. And 3 from City of Glasgow, Parmis Fazy in 8. Nicole Keenan in 9. And Molly Urquhart in 10. Entry times here 2:31 to 2:33, and it's pretty close at the turn. Claire Wallace down in lane 1 has the edge, 33.46. So we have to stretch over the balcony to see lane 1, so it's always a risk that we get caught out with the swimmers there. She's still up there, but I think she's being overtaken now by swimmers, particularly lane 6. And that's Elena Mikel of Aberdeen.
Yeah, she's a really small girl, but she's really working her arms there. She's turning first.
Yes, close to her is Abby Freeman, but it is Elena, 1:11.47. It's a little slower than the first heat, about half a second back. So they'll want to pick it up in the second half. Abby Freeman of North Ayrshire may just have the edge now. So approaching 150. Still a pretty open contest. Touch just with Abby still, 150.93. Leads by a second over Elena Mikel. Claire Wallace, the early leader, in third. And they now have moved faster than the previous heat, so good third length there. And Abby will be looking to consolidate that down this last length. Still, it's Elena Mikel in second place, but she's about 2 meters back now on Abby Freeman. So Abby going to go well. Claire Wallace pushing hard in lane 1 for second, but just not quite managing to get past Elena, so she takes second, 2:30.89, 2:31 dead for Claire Wallace, but the winner, Abby Freeman, 2:29.25. with these young girls, physical development, I guess, is a big component, in particularly perhaps in freestyle.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. You'll notice some of them are... Wait till the start. You'll notice some of them are a lot taller than others, more muscly than others. And obviously girls just, you know, some are fully developed at 12 years old, some, you know, are 16, 17. So that totally changes your balance in the water. So they'll change throughout the years.
And they have to be able to cope with those changes as they progress their swimming careers. And in Heat 3, we've got Hannah Young of South Ayrshire in 1, Kayla Manson of Lerwick in 2, Abigail Main of South Lanarkshire in 3, Onyi Orbell of Aberdeen in 4, Karen Heath of West Lothian in 5, Sophie Hunter of First in 6, Elise Green of Elgin in 7, Ellis Bryant of West Lothian in 8, Nicole Montague of South Lanarkshire in 9, Abigail Kavanagh of City of Glasgow in 10. And I guess that sort of works both ways. If you're develop early and you're very strong and you're using that to your advantage, and you're maybe winning because of your strength, but then you've got to cope with the other people catching up with you versus, I guess, the ones who are slightly later development, and then we have the discouragement at the beginning of other swimmers beating them, but
yeah,
not realizing that perhaps their time will come.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I remember I didn't really win a race until I was, you know, 16 years old. Because I was a late developer, but yeah, you've just got to try and handle getting beat for a while, and then you slowly are gaining on people and then winning things.
So how did that feel when you were being beaten at that stage, maybe as a 13-year-old?
I don't think it really bothered me. I just loved racing. I loved getting in and racing someone, and I always had a target to beat the person next to me or beat a personal best time. And as long as you stick to your own individual targets and don't get distracted by getting beat all the time, then you're always going to succeed, because you're just slowly working away in your own goals.
So focusing on this race then, and it's lane 9. That is Nicole Montague, who has the advantage here. And she is looking very strong down this last length. She's opened up the gap considerably. Tight for second. Lane 3, Abigail Main of South Lanarkshire with Onyi Orbell beside her, but that was a convincing victory for Nicole. 2:27.45, another good PB, nearly 4 seconds. So the 12-year-old from South Lanarkshire out of lane 9, performing really well there. Abigail Main second, 2:28.93. Onyi Orbell third, 2:29.47. Elise Green nearly catching her in the end. So we move on to Heat 4. Hannah Galloway of Warrender in 1, Heather Wallace, City of Aberdeen in 2, Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen in 3, Eve Thompson of Midlothian in 4, Megan Pathal of Hearts in 5, Claire Thompson of 5 Performance in 6, Amy Richardson of Best in 7, Lisa Miller of South Lanarkshire in 8, Diane Tennant of North Lanarkshire in 9, and Ruth Thompson of East Lothian in 10. Megan Pathal and Diane Tennant within 100th of each other at the first turn. 32.68, 32.69. Lane 5 for Megan, lane 9 for Diane. And still those two. Diane, I think, has the edge, maybe. Good Hearts activity on the side of the pool, urging Megan on.
Megan's doing the single-sided breathe-in.
And she just had the edge here. Claire Thompson is making a good move now in lane 6. She didn't really feature in the first quarter of the race, but suddenly she's up there. Heather Wallace as well in lane 2, and beside her Anna Galloway. So this is a tight one now. Amy Richardson moving up as well.
Looks like Diane Tennant has still got the lead just, I think.
Yes, I think you're right. You are right, 1:48.45. Just check the gap, it's nearly half a second. Amy Richardson now in second place. Let's see how she can push on here on this last length.
All the legs are going now, so there's a good race going on in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, but they've got quite a lot of catching up to do on Amy and Diane. But they are maybe making a bit of progress. Megan Pethal and Claire Thompson. And it's still Amy Richardson from the borders who's got the edge. It's a bit about hanging on here, but she's going to do it. So Amy takes it 2:24.97. That was a good race, that one. And a nice PB for Amy of 4 seconds. Coach Alex Jordan looking happy about that. Second place, Megan Pethal. Third, Diane Tennant. On to heat 5. Kirsten Calder for first goes in 1. Emma Harvey of Warrender in 2. Beth Gill of Hearts in 3. Erin Moore of South Ayrshire in 4. Morven Scott of Highland in 5. Kerry Anton of North Lanarkshire in 6. Ella Hamilton of Alton in 7. Kimmy Buchanan of First in 8. Rosie Matheson of South Lanarkshire in 9. And her teammate Taylor Bartlett goes in 10.
Kimmy Buchanan and Rosie Matheson are really going for that first 50 there.
It's actually Emma Harvey that leads them through that 50, 31.41 in lane 2. Warren, the swimmer, actually based in Aruba. Sounds nice. But representing Warren here. Lane 8 going nicely. You mentioned her earlier, Kimmy Buchanan, and I think she now has the edge. Rosie Matheson, Taylor Bartlett, the two from South Lanarkshire. Going nicely on the far side. A lot of the action there, but it still is Emma Harvey. Just with the edge, 1:08.08. 2 seconds faster than the previous heat. Kimmy Buchanan. Right there. In lane 8. Through the 150. Emma's holding that advantage, 1:44.95. And 37 split. So looking at something in the low 220s here. Emma's entry time, 2:26. Still, she has her hands full with Kimmy Buchanan. And a metre back on her. That's going to be the 1-2 though. Amy Harvey, I think, will hold this one. And holding it with a reasonable amount to spare, 2:21.16, slightly faster than my prediction, so she picked up good speed there at the end. Second place, Kimmy Buchanan, 2:22.75. Third, Rosie Matheson, 2:24.83. So Emma showed good technique there.
Yeah, both of those top two had a good technique. Different stroke rates, but both good technique. all these girls are doing great PBs as well.
I guess you'd expect a lot more PBs from these younger swimmers compared with this morning, but the ratio must be quite good, I think. Heat 6 underway. Morven Adams of Dundee City Aquatics in 1. Taylor Finlayson of Warrender in 2. Anna Balfour of East Lothian in 3. Iona McLeod of Dundee City Aquatics in 4. Madeline Toms of City of Aberdeen in 5. Hannah Driver of Aberdeen in 6. Sarah Anderson of East Lothian in 7. Gemma McLeod of Dumfries in 8. Abigail Queen of Perth City in 9. Bethan Parrott of West Lothian in 10. So it's Perth's Abigail Queen, 31.89 at the 50, in what looks like pretty much a wall-to-wall line of swimmers. Abigail just ahead of the group, maybe.
Yeah, all fairly even coming down the second 50, apart from Abigail just a little bit ahead.
And she's building that lead now, coming towards the halfway point. In second place, the City of Aberdeen swimmer Madeline Toms. Beside her, Dundee's Iona McLeod. But it is Abigail, 107.68. Third in the Midlands distance meet. So approaching 150. All these swimmers, you see the coaches gesturing on the side. In this case, it's City head coach Anne Dixon driving on Abigail. 145.04. Now pretty much on terms with the previous heat. So she needs a strong final 50 here. She should hold off the opposition, although you can't be sure about that. Still, it's Dundee's Iona McLeod. Well, thought she had second. I'm not so sure now. There's lane 6 and lane 8 pushing on. Hannah Driver and Gemma McLeod.
I think Abigail might just hold on here.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Oh, I don't think so.
Great finish there for Iona.
Oh, that was cruel. Abigail just died absolutely at the end there. Poor thing. Iona then taking full advantage, 2:34.64. Iona McLeod and Dundee City Aquatics 1-2 there, with Morven Adams taking second, and Abigail Queen after that brave race just ran out of gas at the end, 2:24.19, but still a PB. And I guess her arms and legs must have just felt like lead at these last 5 meters there.
You don't really feel anything. You just, all you think about is just get to the wall.
So on to heat 7. Ailsa Young of Mingers Hill in 1. Destiny West of Brock in 2. Niamh Brett of Warrender in 3. Hannah Kerr of Highland in 4. Imogen Buse, City of Aberdeen in 5. Beth Brown of Mulgai and Bearsden in 6. Natasha Smith of North Lanarkshire in 7. Robin Morrison of North Lanarkshire in 8. Katie Donald of South Lanarkshire in 9. Kirsty Stewart of Aberdeen in 10. Natasha Smith leads them through the turn in lane 7. North Lanarkshire swimmer with her teammate Robin Morrison beside her. Does it help having a teammate beside you?
I think so, yeah. You're used to racing them in training, so you know roughly what pace they're going to go and how they race. So it's quite good to get in there and be next to your teammate.
108.42. And what about in the call room? Are you chatty with them, or did you cut them to dead?
I think it depended on what race it was and how serious the competition. But I always like to have a little bit of a chat in the call room just to keep myself relaxed.
Just for those not aware, we operate 2 call rooms in these championships. You go into the first call room, get yourself organised into the heat, and then make your way through to a second call room. And there you have to just sit and prepare yourself for your race. Then you come out to the blocks, ready to perform. Final turn then, and Robin Morrison now has the advantage, 1:45.63.
Yep, she's left her teammate now and really kicking her legs down this last 50.
Kirsty Stewart of Aberdeen in second place over in lane 10. Well, it's about a metre, the gap between them. Kirsty looking very smooth there over on the far side. Just upping her stroke rate now. And I think it's going to be Robin. I don't think she'll be caught. And Robin does take it, 2:22.23. Improves by 1.8 in her entry time. Kirsty Stewart, 2:22.99. Also an improvement. 2:24.50 she was entered on, and Niamh Brett takes third, 2:24.78. Heat 8, we have Bridget Hay of East Lothian in 1, Yasmin Perry of City of Aberdeen in 2, Abby Mitchell of South Lanarkshire in 3, Ailey Collier of Carnegie in 4, Katie Taylor of First in 5, Lucy Buchan of First in 6, Anya Watt of Dumfries in 7, Leona Turner, South Aberdeenshire in 8, Katrina McManus of East Lothian in 9, and Emma Thoyers of Brock in 10. Start from Ailey Collier, East District Age Group silver medalist. Lady swimmer in lane 4. Beside her in 5 is Katie Taylor of First.
Yeah, Katie's just coming alongside her now. Probably turn about the same time, I think, at 100.
Yeah, so maybe just with the edge, but it's a fraction. 0.05 of a second, and in fact it's Katie Taylor that just got the touch, 1:05.62. Not far behind them, Lucy Buchan of First. So going well in lane 2 is Yasmin Perry. It looks like it's lanes 4, 5 and 6 who are going to decide this, and a good third length from Katie Taylor.
She's just picked her stroke rate up now, so she's just edging in front of the other two.
1:41.26. Katie Taylor, bronze medalist last year. Holding off her teammate. Lucy Buchan's moved into second place ahead of Ailey Collier and about a metre behind Katie Taylor. So the first swimmers going nicely here, but Katie Taylor looks to have this one under control. About 1.5 metres up now. Ailey Collier trying to get back at Lucy Buchan, but she won't manage that, so it is Taylor who takes it, 2:16.85. Second place, Lucy Buchan, 2:17.60. Ailey Collier third, 2:18.58. Katie Taylor's entry time 2:13.9, so more to come maybe in the final from her.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think she just did what she needed to do there and win that race. She was building through that each 50 by the looks of things. Just picked her stroke rate up on that third 50 to go past, and then again on the last 50.
into heat 9. Emma Govan of West Lothian in 1. Megan Niven of South Ayrshire in 2. Sophie Annan of Hearts in 3. Ali Morrison of Dundee City Aquatics in 4. Sophie Smith of St Thomas in 5. Lexi Waller of Hearts in 6. Faye Prosser of Forres in 7. Kirsten Laurie of First in 8. Kiana McInnes of Hearts in 9. Catherine Soder of Best in 10. Leading through the turn of Rose St Thomas's Sophie Smith, 31.13. Distance freestyle specialist picked up the national age group record on day 1 in the 800. And overtaken now though, Lexi Waller of Hearts.
Lexi's been pretty impressive the last few days, so she's got the strength, but I'm not sure if Sophie will be able to bring her in. She's an 800 swimmer, so she will come back in this last 100.
105.21 is about 4/10 faster than the previous heat. Lexi's split. Sophie Smith half a second behind her. Third place is a three-way contest. Faye Prosser, Ali Morrison and Sophie Annan. Second half swimmer in the mix now. But it's Waller and Smith, I think, are going to decide this one. At the moment, Waller's holding the advantage. See Waller, East District Age Group champion, second in this event last year. She goes in the 13 age group, Sophie Smith in the 12, so they'll be in different finals tonight. Sophie Smith will be looking to add to her freestyle medal tally. And it looks like Lexi Waller will have too much for her in this last length.
Sophie is kicking a lot more now, but she might have just left it a little bit too late.
Well, it's getting closer as they come in. I think Lexi will just hold it, but certainly, as you said, we really saw some acceleration from Sophie Smith at the end there. And she was only, in the end, 4/10 behind her. Waller taking it 2:14.92. That is the fastest so far with one heat to go. Second, Sophie Smith, 2:15.38. Ali Morrison taking third, 2:18.32. Certainly that puts, I think, Sophie Smith in pole position for the 10 to 12-year-old final, you would think. I'm not sure anyone's very close to that time at all. We've got one 12-year-old to come, two 12-year-olds to come in this next heat, Laura McCluskey and Lucy Williamson. We'll be surprised if they match Sophie's time. Again, they're taking a while just to call this result. They very often get DQs in the freestyle, and even usually for flyers. So they could miss the wall, but I didn't see anybody missing the wall in that one. And that's usually much more inexperienced swimmers than these girls. So maybe it's a query about a time. I think that's what it is. I can see a timekeeper just going over and checking backup times. So we have the primary time taken off the pads. Then you'll see red buttons from time to time just by the blocks, and the timekeeper presses that, and that gives you a secondary time. And if all else fails, you go to the watches.
That's the results up now, I think.
Yep, there we've got it. And we move rapidly on. So, final heat. Katie Lilly of South Lanarkshire in 1, Freya Thompson of Perth City in 2, Bobby Gregg of South Lanarkshire in 3, Niamh Ritchie of Warrender in 4, Anna Fleming of City of Glasgow in 5, Lily Godden of Tigers Jersey in 6, Laura McCluskey of Borough of Stockton in 7, Rachel Gilchrist of North Lanarkshire in 8, Emma Scully of North Ayrshire in 9, and Lucy Williamson of Highland in 10. Anna Fleming, very strong at the shorter freestyle distances. Expect her to be able to keep that into the 200.
Yeah, I would hope so. She is going pretty quick, but she went 58 in the 100, so she should be able to do a really decent 200 freestyle if she holds it together down that second 100 and doesn't go out too fast.
Certainly is well clear of everybody else as they come through to the 100, so she has held it back pretty well. 102.49 is nearly 3 seconds faster than any of the previous splits, but when you compare that to her 100 time, it's probably about right, you would think.
Yeah, I would say that's about right. Not too fast, but fast enough to keep that pace up.
Freya Thompson going well in lane 2, the Perth City swimmer. And lane 6, Lily Gordon of Jersey. But nobody, I don't think, is going to get close to Anna Fleming here. Real talent from City of Glasgow, 136.64. So around about 34 second pace, so even pacing. 2:10, entered 2:09.88, so she won't be far from that.
Really powerful girl, and you can just see her legs really kicking hard down this last 50.
And no sign of her slackening off either, so she is taking this fairly seriously. Going to be around her entry time, just outside it, 2:10.43. I think she'll be well happy with that and looking to improve on it tonight. Lily Gordon taking second, 2:15.14, and Freya Thompson, nice swim from her out of lane 2, big PB, 2:15.92. So I think that probably firmly ensconces Sophie Smith and Anna Fleming as the favourites in the 2 finals tonight.
Yep, definitely. Anna's way out in front in that 13 age group, and Sophie with that last 50 is comfortably in front of the 12-year-olds as well.
So straight on now to the boys' 100 breaststroke, and we've got 8 heats to come here. Pool just being cleared before we get going. I think they do that at the end of each event, just to give a bit of breathing space for everybody. Something going on in lane 7 around the, maybe it's the backup button. Well, that's not holding us off, we're up and running. And away we go with the first heat. Nathan McMurtry of South Lanarkshire in 1, Charles DeBow of Warrender in 2, Morgan Eriksson of South Aberdeenshire in 3, Ethan Lindsay of City of Aberdeen in 4, Ryan Downey of Brock in 5, Alistair Cormack of Perth City in 6, Finn Corbett of Corby in 7, Jake Miller of Helensburgh in 8, Lee Rosie of South Aberdeenshire in 9, George Cowan of St Thomas in 10. Just 2 lengths of the pool this time. So halfway mark they go through, led by Finn Corbett, 39.50.
So many different strokes going on in the pool in this breaststroke. Some low to the water, some really high. Finn's stroke is really low to the water, not much splash going on there, but it seems to be really effective coming from his legs.
And he's 1.5 meters maybe up on Alistair Cormack. They're going to be 1-2, I think. I don't see anybody getting near him, and I don't think Alistair will catch Finn into the final 5 meters. Finn's entry time 1:27.70. Nice improvement on that, 1:23.38. Second, Alistair Cormack, 1:24.50, and it was tight for third, but it goes to Jake Miller, 1:27.20. So we talk about the different approaches to the breaststroke and the different techniques. Is there a right answer?
I wouldn't say there is, no. I used to think there was, because obviously I'm a breaststroker, so tried to do what the fastest people did. But no, there's so many different ways to swim breaststroke. I think it's about the timing in breaststroke that's the most important thing. If you get that right, then you're sorted.
So that result confirmed, and we move on to Heat 2. In Heat 2, we have Fraser Agnew of City of Aberdeen in 1, Rhys Paul of Lerwick in 2, Jay Aitken of Hearts in 3, Max Hagan of Highland in 4, Conor Logan, City of Glasgow in 5, Conor Tarrant of North Ayrshire in 6, Innes McMillan of Aberdeen in 7, Joel Sinclair of Carlisle Aquatics in 8, Rory Dixon of North Ayrshire in 9, and Keir Buchanan of South Lanarkshire in 10. Well, stretched across the pool from lane 2 through to lane 7. There's not a lot in it. Coming to the turn. Innes McMillan just getting the touch. 38.42, about a second faster than the previous heat. Down the second length. Still Innes with the advantage in lane 7. And well in lane 2, Lerwick's Rhys Paul. And he is closing here now. Also moving up strongly in lane 4 is Max Hagan. It's going to be tight there between lanes 2 and 7. Ooh, it just goes. McMillan takes it by 700ths, 122.81. Rhys Paul second, 122.88. Max Hagan third, 123.53. On to Heat 3, Donald Bissett of Gloucester in 1, Alex Dakers of Stingray in 2, Ewan McGowan of South Aberdeenshire in 3, Mitchell Stevenson of South Lanarkshire in 4, Lewis Bailey of Fife Performance in 5, Joe Ewing of Warrender in 6, Callum Warnock of North Lanarkshire in 7, George Mansfield of Burnt Island in 8, Young Kim of North Lanarkshire in 9, and Cameron Murray of Dundee City Aquatics in 10. Callum Warnock, strong start, 36.51, nearly 2 seconds faster than the previous heat. Bronze medalists at West Essex junior age groups. Very aggressive down the first length, and is continuing that pretty well in the second.
Yeah, his legs just look like they're tying up a little bit now, and then lane number 5, Lewis Bailey is coming. I don't know if he'll catch him, but he's coming closer to him.
Yep, Sonny Callum, I think, decided he was really going to go for that in the first half, and well, they've served him pretty well, 1:18.95. That's a big PB for him, nearly 5 seconds. Lewis Bailey second place, 1:19.98. Mitchell Stevenson third, 21.53. So we've got another sighting of Mr. Retson in this next heat. Let's see what he can do in breaststroke. Quite an early heat for him here. In full field, Joe Tate in 1 for Hearts. Scott Gibson of Ren 96 in 2. Kasper Luzak of Best in 3. Ian Leach of Delting in 4. Ryan Retson of First in 5. Mark Hill of North Lanarkshire in 6. 3 swimmers then from Margay and Bearsden. Jamie Miller in 7. Ewan Watson in 8. Jack Wicklow in 9. And Guy Broadhurst for Aberdeen in 10. I think Ryan's answering the question pretty quickly here.
Yeah, he had a great start there.
.35.79. 3/4 of a second faster than the previous heat. It certainly seems to have the measure of the other swimmers around him. Lane 3 in second place. That's Kasper Luzak of Best. Well, there's a lot of swimmers actually close to him. Margay and Bearsden contingent up there. Also the Wren swimmer Scott Gibson, but Ryan Retson well clear here. So his entry time 1:21.37. 4.5 seconds knocked off that, 1:16.75, so that's the new time to beat. Scott Gibson taking second, just going ahead of Kasper. At the end there, 1:21.02 for him. Kasper Luzak third, 1:21.24. 1:16.75, that's not bad at all.
Yep, considering he just did 200 fly.
Guess when you're young, you recover quickly.
Yep, yes, you do.
Oh, to be young. So that time 1:16, certainly faster than any of the entry times in this heat coming up. So we'll see whether anybody can rise to the challenge Ryan's just set. So in heat 5 we have James Cross of Wigan Best in 1, Blair Watrett of Dumfries in 2, Matthew Mickey of Carnoustie in 3, Callum Barnes of Carnegie in 4, Lewis Crosby of Hearts in 5, Bradley Meldrum of South Aberdeenshire in 6, Robert Ogilvie of East Lothian in 7, Jack Somerville of South Ayrshire in 8, Finlay Hart of East Lothian in 9, Philip Yule of South Aberdeenshire in 10. So the Ryan Retson split 35.79, just coming up to 35. A little bit slower. Matthew Mickey, the swimmer from Carnoustie Claymores, 36.29, leads them at halfway. Nice to see some of the small clubs figuring here. Carnoustie, probably Matthew the only swimmer from them into these championships. So he is giving it his all here. Nice to see him still leading the way from Carnegie's Callum Barnes. Callum now just about there with him. Maybe just moving past now. Third place in lane 3. Matthew Mickey now in third place. So it is Barnes 1:16.84. Somerville second 1:17.97. And Matthew Mickey ending up third 1:19.39.
Just a fraction slower than Ryan in the heat before. That should be a good race tonight.
To heat 6, Daniel Ferguson of West Lothian in 1, Sam Huntington of Aberdeen in 2, David Rowan of Kilmarnock in 3, Finn Davison of City of Aberdeen in 4, Connor Joyce of Workington in 5, Douglas Ross of Highland in 6, Dean Brannan also of Highland in 7, Thomas Harkus of South Aberdeenshire in 8, Callum Crossley of South Ayrshire in 9, Alistair McGee of Kilmarnock in 10. So You'd expect the action to be in the centre lanes in these last 3 heats. And Connor Joyce does lead out of lane 5 here. Entry time 1:11. He's about a metre up on Douglas Ross of Highland. And a bit of a gap to the following swimmers. So it's looking like Joyce and Ross will be the 1-2 here. 1:12.87. He looked good there.
Yep, long stroke there from Connor.
Connor Joyce 1:12.87. Douglas Ross 1:14.65 in second place. Finn Davison 1:15.92 in third.
Health and safety, no glass bottles or the likes on poolside, please. Thank you. Referee.
So on to heat 7. Duncan McKinney of City of Glasgow in 1. George Crawford of Middlesbrough in 2. Greg Rowe of Carnegie in 3. Thomas Balfour of North Lanarkshire in 4. Jacob Marchbank of Perth City in 5. William Balfour of North Lanarkshire in 6. Fraser Allison of Inverleith in 7. Ewan Leslie of Kilmarnock in 8. David Pearson of North Lanarkshire in 9. Cameron Main of Elgin in 10. In fact, no swimmer in lane 1 in this one. Duncan McKinney's decided to take this one out. And Jacob Marchbank leads them 34.07 at the 50. Another strong Perth swim here from the Midlands champion. He's about a metre up on William Balfour. And lane 8, Ewan Leslie.
They're really driving into the finish here.
Yep, Jacob good there, 1:12.02, and that's faster than Connor Joyce's time by about 8/10. So he'll be prominently placed in the 14-year-old final. William Balfour, I'm sure, will be there as well with that time, 1:14.56. Ewan Leslie in third place. You might just have to sweat it out a bit until the finalists are announced. 1:15.08. I'm hearing that we've got viewers from New Zealand. We've got viewers from Turkey. I wanted to hear your pearls of wisdom, Kerry. Final heat then, we have Craig Smith of City of Aberdeen in 1, Ryan McGee of South Lanarkshire in 2, Ross Neely of West Lothian in 3, Michael Alcorn of Mulgai and Bearsden in 4, George Clough of Warrender in 5, Finlay Dean, City of Aberdeen in 6, Archie Goodburn of Warrender in 7, Paul Miller of Aberdeen in 8, Angus Nichol of City of Glasgow in 9, Ben Johnson of First in 10. We talked about George Clough, maybe this being an opportunity for him to pick up gold, 34.29. That's not quite as fast as Jacob Marchbank split, so I don't think we talked about Jacob Marchbank in the mix in this 14-year-old final, but well, he could be there.
He's being pushed all the way here by Michael Alcorn as well in the lane next to him.
George Clough, though, I think is going to take this one. He's about a metre and a half up now on Michael Alcorn. These two well clear. Good swim over in lane 10. Ben Johnson of First. Pushing hard for third place, but it's Clough who takes it, 1:12.49. So he'll be second fastest, I think, behind Marchbank in the 14-year-old final. I think that will be a very interesting contest. We had Connor Joyce also 1:12 and change, so 3 swimmers all within about 8/10 of each other.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting one tonight.
Look on there in the 113s, as you saw there. Second place. Scoreboard very rapidly moving on to move us to the next event. And that next event is the girls' 100 backstroke. 10 heats here. Rattling through these this afternoon, Kerry.
Yeah, it's going really fast, actually. Loads of PBs from these youngsters as well. It's really good to see. This could be some of their first age groups, and to get in and to do PBs like that is impressive.
So the first heat of the girls' 100 backstroke. 4 swimmers. Palmer Spacey of City of Glasgow in 4. Ella Shields, Mulgai and Besden in 5. Kimmy Buchanan of First in 6. Kirsty Stewart of Aberdeen in 7. What are swimmers saying about this pool as a competition venue? Do they like it?
Yeah, I think everyone does like it. I raced here also 3 weeks ago at the last meet up here, and I was really impressed by it, yeah. You've got a lot of space. You've got the warm down pool through next door as well. So.
Yes, if you haven't been to the Aberdeen Sports Village, it's well worth a visit. There is a really spectacular diving facility here, and we're using that this week for swim down facilities. So that is a separate 6 by 25 meter pool that is on the go throughout the day for whenever you want to use it. But back to the swimming, and it's Kimmy Buchanan in the blue cap, just ahead of Ella Shields, Kirsty Stewart and Palmer Spacey. Kimmy has had some good swims. She's still got the edge, but, well, it's getting closer now. Ella Shields is right there with her, and I think Ellis might just nick this one. Well, no, Kimmy did take it. 200ths there was in it. 1:20.80. I feel if Ellis had maybe just nailed that finish better, she could have got that one.
Yeah, exactly. Should have just stretched a little bit further, or grown her nails like I do.
I always thought that was a commentator's myth about nails, but obviously not. Oh no, you proof of it.
Very long nails.
We want to get a picture onto the feed of Kerry's nails there, just to prove the point. On to heat 2. Heat 2, Emma Cool of South Aberdeenshire in 1, Phoebe Kitchen of Inverclyde in 2, Ciara Edwards of Afford in 3, Jennifer Storm of City of Aberdeen in 4, Jessica McKee of Bathgate in 5, Molly Murray of Kilmarnock in 6, Sophie Newland, Dundee City Aquatics in 7, Erin Snow of South Lanarkshire in 8, Amy Richardson of Best in 9, and Megan Pathal of Hearts in 10. So at the turn, it's Erin Snow, 37.82. Second and a half faster than the first heat, so she's in lane 8. Still has the advantage coming down the second length. Lane 4, Jennifer Storm, who just has second place from Sophie Newland and Amy Richardson, and, well, maybe lane 2, actually, Phoebe Kitchen. But it is Erin. She takes it 1:17.41. Second place, Jennifer Storm, 1:18.18. And Phoebe Kitchen third, 1:19.33. result now confirmed, so we move on to heat 3.
Coaches from East Lothian and Kilmarnock, please, as soon as possible to the recorder's desk. Thank you. Sorry, that was West Lothian. Coach from West Lothian and Kilmarnock to recorders.
Heat 3 up and running. Megan McCormack of Mulgrave and Bearsden goes in 1. Diane Tennant of North Lanarkshire in 2. Lauren Sanderson of Lowick in 3. Morven Adams of Dundee City Aquatics in 4. Claire Thompson of Fife Performance in 5. Lindsay Jack of Best in 6. Maylie Brown of Best in 7. Rebecca McComish of Mingus Hill in 8. Olivia Wright of Forres in 9. And Neve Davidson of Carnegie in 10. Quite a strong Dundee presence here. Dundee City Aquatics and Mingus Hill. But it's Megan McCormack of Mulgrave and Bearsden on the near side, just touching first. But, well, this one is a tough one to call. A load of swimmers in contention here. And maybe lane 6 just starting to edge into the lead. That's Lindsay Jack from Best, based in Hoyk. About a metre up on the swimmers either side of her. Still doing well in lane 1 though is Megan McCormack. Lindsay Jack 1:18.03, slightly caught me out on a finish there. Thought she was going to go over and take another stroke and decided to nip it in with the other arm. Probably a good plan. Claire Thompson 1:18.89, just 200ths ahead of Megan McCormack. It's just a little slower between the heats as they need to clear the pool for backstroke, of course. But we're ready to go with heat 4. On to heat 4, Sarah Fraser of City of Aberdeen in 1, Anna Galloway of Warrender in 2, Elena McKell of Aberdeen in 3, Siobhan Fraser of North Lanarkshire in 4, Ellie Turner of Carnegie in 5, Onyi Orbel of Aberdeen in 6, Amy Malone of Stirling in 7, Abby Freeman North Ayrshire in 8, Zoe Wilson of Wren 96 in 9, Elise Green of Elgin in 10. Getting some news that there might be a swim-off coming up later on in the boys' 14 years 100 breaststroke, so that will be something interesting to look forward to. 37.09, Siobhan Fraser leads at the turn. Amy Malone now up there as well in the yellow cap of Stirling. It's pretty tight between the two of them. Siobhan in the silver cap, Amy in the yellow. I think Siobhan maybe just has the edge, very close to the lane rope there. I always feel that would be a distraction on the backstroke, but didn't put her off. 1:16.19. Do you have any feelings about whereabouts in the lane you wanted to swim?
Yeah, it's better to swim in the middle, but I always had a problem of swimming squint on breaststroke, and I always end up hitting the lane rope on my right-hand side, but it is much better to just swim in a straight line in the middle.
So slightly stronger right-hand side, is that what causes that? Or just...
Yeah, my stroke was a little bit off, so always pulled stronger to the right.
Because with the younger swimmers, of course, they train in a circle round the lane, and the tendency sometimes is for them to do that in a race, which is a bad idea.
Exactly. I think that's why I ended up racing like that, because I was training in that direction.
So did they ever think about training you in the reverse direction?
I did eventually think that one.
On to heat 5, Ruth Thompson of East Lothian in 1, Heather Wallace, City of Aberdeen in 2, Emma Gemmell of North Lanarkshire in 3, Abby Orr of Warrender in 4, Nicole McFarlane of West Lothian in 5, Molly Young of South Lanarkshire in 6, Christy Morrison of Perth City in 7, Iona McLeod, Dundee City Aquatics in 8, Beth Gill of Hearts in 9, Laurie Adaman of North Lanarkshire in 10. The other issue, of course, in backstroke is that you don't have such a clear view of where you're going, and I guess you're sometimes, I guess, judging based on the roof patterns as to how straight you are.
Exactly, yeah. I guess some people may use the lane rope to keep straight, so maybe they prefer to be on closer to the lane rope.
And this is another close one here. Lane 3 up there. Emma Gemmell beside her in 4, Nicole McFarlane.
Looks like Abby Orr has lost her goggles there, so she's
oh, she has, yes.
She's going with one goggle on and one goggle off at the minute.
Molly Young, I think maybe just has theirs. That must be very distracting for her. It's tight there between lanes 5 and 6. Just goes to lane 5, Nicole McFarlane. 1:16.73. Molly Young, 1:16.81. Emma Gemmell taking third, 1:17.58. I'm pretty sure that did get in the way of Abby Orr's swim there.
Yeah, very distracting, that. But she did well to keep going, and it managed to turn.
Did you see when it came off? Did it come off right at the beginning?
I'm not sure. I only noticed coming down that second 50. It looked like they just snapped and one goggle lens was out.
Yep, she'll be annoyed about that, I would think. But, not a lot you can do about it. Heat 6, Amber Moyer of Brock in 1, Gemma McLeod of Dumfries in 2, Zoe Cameron of Wren 96 in 3, Taylor Finlayson of Warrender in 4, Emma Govan of West Lothian in 5, Danielle Cardno of Western Bartonshire in 6, Anna McFarlane of Hearts in 7, Kira Mackay of Fife Performance in 8, Catherine Ruff of Perth City in 9, Nicola Lees of West Lothian in 10. Notice in that one, swimmer really lifting very high up on the blocks on the start there. I noticed Hannah does that, Hannah Miley. Saw her doing that this morning.
I think if you lift up higher, then you get more of a chance to kind of jump back and clear the water. If you notice, a lot of the youngsters, they don't have enough power to quite get far enough out, so they end up dragging the water with them.
I guess air is thinner than water, so the more of you that's in the air is the better, I guess, there. Yeah. This is a great swim from Catherine Ruff in lane 9. She has really taken this one out. Lane 2 also going well, Gemma McLeod, but Catherine maybe slightly been caught now, just tiring maybe a little bit in the end, but what a good swim. 1:14.93. Entry time 1:16.90, so 2 seconds taken off that. Talked about Perth City swimmers going well quite a bit today. She's confirmed as the winner there, 1:14.93. Gemma McLeod, 1:15.46 in second. The Brock swimmer Amber Moyer taking third, 1:15.93. Four heats to go. Looks like we're missing lane 9 in this next one. She's hiding from me. Can't see her though. Knew for sure when they jump in. She's definitely not there.
Nope.
Heat 7, Hazel Leslie of South Lanarkshire in 1, Leah Summers of Brock in 2, Katrina McManus of East Lothian in 3, Neve Brett of Warrender in 4, Tegan Kerr of North Lanarkshire in 5, Madeline Toms of City of Aberdeen in 6, Emma Thoyers of Brock in 7, Abigail Main of South Lanarkshire in 8, and Anna McCulloch of City of Aberdeen in 10. Tegan Kerr. Well, in lane 5, she leads them through the turn, 35.95. Almost identical to Catherine Ruff's split, within 400ths. Tegan still with the advantage. It's not a huge one, though. Lane 7 up there. Emma Thoyers beside her, Abigail Main. On the far side, Anna McCulloch. So those three close to our leader, Tegan. Tegan holding them off at about a metre up at the end, 1:15 exactly. Within a couple of tenths of her entry time. Abigail Main second, 1:15.54. Emma Thoyers, 1:15.84. So moving into the 3 cycle-seeded heats now. Fastest 30 swimmers. To heat 8, Yasmin Perry of City of Aberdeen in 1, Kirsty Griffiths, South Lanarkshire in 2, Katie Taylor of First in 3, Tristan Jones, Dundee City Aquatics in 4, Megan Niven of South Ayrshire in 5, Katie Robertson of South Ayrshire in 6, Hannah Dryber of Aberdeen in 7, Kirsten Laurie of First in 8, Kayla Manson of Lowick in 9, Sarah Anderson of East Lothian in 10. Megan Niven of South Ayrshire looking good here. Hannah Dryber in 7 as well. There's these two with pretty big margin here. Hannah Dryber maybe just has the edge now. This is a nice swim from her.
Yeah, I'd say she's got the better, smoother technique coming down this last 50 here.
Still pretty close though. But it is Hannah who takes it by a tenth, 1:10.16. Megan Niven second, 1:10.26, and Tristan Jones taking third, 1:13.64. So a nice 2-second improvement for Hannah there. More news about that possible swim off. It's a definite swim off now. It's going to be in the 100 breaststroke. 14-year-old boys, and it's going to be Ross Neely of West Lothian taking on David Rowan of Kilmarnock. So if you're supporters of those two clubs, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned anyway. Swimmers are always exciting. Heat 9, Ailey Lister of Carnegie in 1, Ailey Collier of Carnegie in 2, Imogen Buse, City of Aberdeen in 3, Emma Harvey of Warrender in 4, Niamh Ritchie of Warrender in 5, Emma Scully of North Ayrshire in 6, Meredith Scott of South Lanarkshire in 7, Ella Turner of City of Aberdeen in 8, Sophie Smith of St Thomas in 9, Lucy Williamson of Highland in 10. Niamh Ritchie is looking strong here, 33.20.
Yeah, she had a really good underwater off the start there, Niamh.
She's a swimmer that's really impressed me this week. Showing great technique and real rapid improvement.
Yeah, her head's really steady there, and she's just using her arms and legs to power through.
Again, right up against the lane rope. But as you say, maybe using that as a guide. And an emphatic performance, 107.36.
Great swim.
So Niamh's entry time 108.42, so no suggestion of hanging back there in the heat swim.
No, that was really impressive. Like I said from the start, really good underwater and off the turn as well, and really steady head throughout the 100 metres.
Meredith Scott taking second, 112.09, and Emma Harvey third. So the time to beat then for Lexi Waller and the others in the final heat, 107.36. Lexi Waller's entry time, 107.39, so...
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she's going to make of this now.
She'll have certainly taken note of that swim. So heat 10, Roisin Ramsey of Warrender in 1, Robin Morrison of North Lanarkshire in 2, Faye Prosser of Forres in 3, Jessica Damon of Warrender in 4, Lexi Waller of Hearts in 5, Ali Morrison of Dundee City Aquatics in 6, Lily Gordon of Tigers Jersey in 7, Zoe McDonald of Malgai and Bearsden in 8, Kiana McInnes of Hearts in 9, and Lucy Buchan of First in 10. So it is going to be Lexi Waller turning in the lead, 32.85. That is faster than Niamh's halfway split by about 4 tenths.
Again, really steady head from Lexi here, and good underwater off the start and turn.
Silver medalist last year, looking to go that one better here, and another emphatic performance. And remember that time from Niamh, 107.36. So who's going to get lane 5 in the final? It's going to be Lexi Waller. That's the answer, and that was a nice PB as well. So a good response there from Lexi. I'm looking forward to that final. I think that's going to be one of the highlights of tonight.
Oh yeah, really exciting between those two.
106.48 then, confirmed Lexi Waller the winner. Well clear of the others. Jessica Damon of Warrender second, 112.04, with her teammate Roisin Ramsey third in 112.11. So we're moving into the 1500s now. Are you sitting comfortably, Kerry?
Yep, I think so. I'm just looking at how small they are, and they've got 1500 to go, but they all look well up for it.
Well, presumably they chose to swim it, unless their coach chose for them, which I guess might well have happened. So away we go with the first of the 4 heats. We're going to be at this probably for about an hour and 15 minutes. Chat Dalgetty, Dundee City Aquatics goes in 3. Ben Morrison in 4. Also from Dundee City Aquatics. Joel Sinclair for Carlisle Aquatics in 5. He's only just out the water, isn't he? Dominic Kelly of South Lanarkshire in 6. And JJ Moultrie-Waring of Hearts in 7. Entry times here all around the 19 teens, up to 1924 for Jack Dalgetty, the 11-year-old. All these swimmers in the 11 to 13 age group. Early leader, lane 6, Dominic Kelly. Some strong distance freestylers out of South Lanarkshire. Thinking of the likes of Angus Barr and Meg Finnan. So good role models for Dominic to look up to. Having a role model, quite important. When you were a young swimmer, did you have swimmers that you aspired to emulate?
Yeah, I guess so. I always, Kirsty Balfour was always one that I guess looked up to and wanted to, you know, obviously beat eventually. But yeah, I was always kind of looking and watching what she was doing and trying to get in and do the same thing.
And when you were a young Upper Deeside and South Aberdeenshire swimmer, what about then? Were there swimmers in that program who were strong breaststrokers that you could emulate and match when you were really young?
I guess there was a few, but I wouldn't really say I was a kind of breaststroker when I was especially Upper Deeside. I did sort of IM and freestyle. When I was first selected into South Aberdeenshire's top squad, I was actually selected for freestyle. So the breaststroke only appeared to be my best one probably about 15, 16 years old.
So as a freestyler and IMer then, I guess still the same applies there, doesn't it? In terms
yeah,
of
it does.
role models.
I don't think there was one that stood out to me. I think just any older swimmer that was successful in my club I looked up to and tried to keep up with them in training.
So we've got 3 swimmers leading this one off. Ben Morrison leading Dominic Kelly now, and Joel Sinclair with them. These 3 within a second and a half of each other. Around 1:16 and a bit for their second 100. So we'll get a sense of their pacing in this third 100, just whether they can sustain that sort of pace. Ben continuing to lead them. 300, 3:42. So again, just over 1:16, so pretty level so far. So Ben holding his advantage. Dominic Kelly staying with him. Joel Sinclair maybe just slipping back a bit. A long way to go, of course. And Morrison's lead. 2.5, 3 meters now. Maybe just showing signs of pulling away. 4:58.79. So he's pacing very steadily here. 1:16s. 3 of them rolled off consistently. far so good. His teammate Jack Dalgetty, the 11-year-old, now just about up with Cheryl Sinclair. The contest for third. It's Ben Morrison's lead, around 2 seconds now. And a 5-second gap to Joel. Jack. Chance just to remind you about the ways that you could interact with Scottish Swimming during this meet. There's loads and loads of pictures on the Flickr stream. Check them out via Scottish Swimming /Flickr. And some very interesting interviews on the SoundCloud. Not to mention Instagram as well. And of course the Twitter feed. Place to go is the blog spot on the Scottish Swimming website. And you get access to all of those streams there. Why not join in and let us know what you're thinking of things, who you've admired. Offer good luck for swimmers still to compete. Get your selfies in. They've had some good ones this week. All sorts of fancy dress for the finals over the last few days. Sure we'll see that again tonight. Well, they're coming to 600 meters now, 7:32.04. Pace just slightly slipped perhaps, but not a lot. 7:36.70 for Dominic. Jill Sinclair still leads. Jack Dalgetty in third place. It's about 4 meters separating them. Ben now at the stage, I guess, where you've been probably pretty much unaware of what the other swimmers are doing, and so it is all about your own swims. Talking to Mark this morning about the concentration required for the distance swims. Of course, he was a sprinter. I think it was a foreign territory for him. 8:48.82, so again around the 1:16.
Yeah, it takes quite a lot of concentration to do a 1500. You have to make sure that you're staying on pace. Even though there's not anyone around you, you have to swim your own race. Just think of the small things like doing your turns and your underwater kicks off the wall.
I guess it's repetition, drills after drills, because you become second nature what you've got to do, but you've still got to pace it, haven't you? And as you gain strength and gain experience, it's, I think, knowing how fast to set off, I think that's quite a challenge.
It is, yeah. Although these guys have done quite well. Usually you see youngsters that are inexperienced going off way too fast. But I wouldn't say these guys have done that. I think they've, held a fairly even pace throughout so far.
Yeah, we're just into the second half now. Coming up to 800 meters. 10:06.39. We're just slightly slipping in pace there, 1:17.5.
You'll also see the coaches at the side of the pool probably giving them different signals to see if they're if they need to pick up or slow down in some cases. But I used to get the thumb up if I was on pace, the wave if I needed to go faster, the double wave if I needed to go a lot faster, and a sort of slow down hand movement if I was going too fast on the first 100. So these swimmers will have discussed with their coach before the 1500 as to what signal meant what.
Excuse me.
So it's good stuff here on the Dundee City Aquatic swimmer. This is 900 meters now. 11:23:44. Again, around 1:17, so that looks to be the new pace. So, yeah, fair play to him. He's been in the 1:16s, 1:17s throughout so far. I guess this next phase might be the area where he struggles to keep it going. He's been in the water now for coming up to 12 minutes.
Yeah, this is when your legs start to get tired and you have to keep concentration and keep pushing yourself.
And of course, keeping the concentration as well. I think if I'm at this stage, my mind would be all over the place.
Yeah. I guess these guys are used to, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours of training. So they're used to keeping that concentration. It's just a little bit more intense in a race.
So they're not thinking about what's for dinner tonight just at the moment.
No.
I hope it's not pasta again. Bet it is, though.
Most likely.
12:41:27. Just edging towards the 1:18s now, so he's just dropping back a little bit. Trying to do some quick mental maths as to where that brings Ben in. I think he is inside his entry time if he can keep the pace going. 19:15 is entry time. Don't think he'll be massively inside it.
I'm terrible at maths, so I can't help you out there at all.
I made a similar comment at the Grand Prix over the commentary, and I was told very firmly by somebody sitting just down from me that it wasn't maths, it was arithmetic. No algebra involved. Race perhaps just tightening up a bit for second place now. It's been Dominic Kelly throughout, but he's only, what, 4 or 5 meters ahead of Jill Sinclair. 13:59:33 for Ben. So another 1:18 there. 400 now to go. And the gap definitely is shrinking here in the contest for second. I don't know whether the camera is showing that, but it's down to about 3 meters.
Yeah, Joel's just obviously made a target to try and catch up with Dominic here. I think it does help if there's someone just in front of you. It gives you that target to try and reel them in each 50.
And that certainly seems to be happening now. It's within a body length, the gap between the two of them. Wouldn't think Ben's going to be impacted by that at all. He is still some 15 meters up. Maybe not quite 15, 12, 13. 15-16.
Joel's
64.
just past Dominic now, I think. Yep.
Yes, he has. So 8/10 up now, so the tester for Dominic now. Does he try and stay with him, or does he try and stick to his pace?
It looks like he's trying to stay with him, but his arms are looking quite tired, not really getting the power behind his stroke.
At the front, though, Ben Morrison still looks to be stroking out strongly. Lots of evidence of the legs doing their bit. Next turn, it'll be 200 to go. This is a good second half from Joel Sinclair.
Yep, he's just picked it up in this last 200 meters. Using the legs a bit more.
He's definitely beginning to work Ben Morrison's lead now, so just keep an eye on that. 16:34.90. The advantage is 6.3. So if Joel was to close that down, he's got to do that at around 1.5 seconds per length. That's quite a challenge. Probably, I'm imagining a comeback here.
Well, I don't think any of them are going to catch Ben now, but Joel has had a great last 200 meters, and he is pulling further and further away from Dominic.
And just looking at the gap there with 150 to go, it's pretty much the same as it was at 200, so pacing around the same speed. Looks like Dominic may have just found a bit of a second wind now. In third place, he's only about 3-4 meters behind Joel.
Yeah, again, he's just bringing his legs in now, which is good to see. He's got a second wind.
So taking the bell, 100 to go, 17:54.01. And the lead has shrunk. It's down to 4.8. Second half was taken off in that last 50.
Joel's just picked up his stroke rate again.
It is a huge ask, though, to expect him to close this down with just 1.5 lengths to go. Not even that. Ben Morrison, it'll be interesting to see what sort of sprint he's got left in him. Coming to his final turn. He goes through that in 18:33.32. Just check the gap again. It's 3 seconds now, so it's continuing to close. You would expect Ben to have some sort of sprint in him, but Joel is really pushing him here. Joel Sinclair has got the gap down to about 3 meters. He's continuing to work very hard in lane 5 to close it down some more. Ben Morrison will probably sense his presence now. 10 meters to go, 5 meters to go. He's not going to be caught, but a great effort from Joel to make it close. But Ben takes it 19:09.53. Entered 19:15, so takes 5.5 seconds off his entry time. Joel Sinclair 19:11.41, pretty much bang on his time. Dominic Kelly 19:14.47. That's half-second improvement for him. I wonder, just looking at that finish from Joel Sinclair, whether he left a little bit in the tank there and maybe could have paced a bit faster.
I was just going to say that, yeah, that last 100, I think he had a little bit too much energy, especially in that last 50. So if he'd done that a couple of hundreds earlier, it would have been a really, really close finish there.
But nonetheless, good performances, and just waiting for the final swimmer, JJ Moultrie-Waring, to complete his race, and just gives the others a little bit of relaxed time. Certainly saw Ben Morrison looking around, looking quite happy, and so he should be. A nice swim from the Dundee City Aquatic swimmer to take it. So JJ Moultrie-Waring completes his race. Not his day today. And the result confirmed, 19:09.53 for Ben Morrison. Joel Sinclair second, 19:11.41. And Dominic Kelly third.
I think one of them was just sick.
Right, yeah. I wonder whether they're playing the ball.
It was the winner I saw at the end. Is just it looked like, but I didn't want to say it on this.
No. So just a little delay before we get the next heat underway.
It's all right.
Just looking across the blocks, and I think we've got all 10 swimmers to go in this one. Entry times 18:44 up to 19:10. So this should be faster than the first heat. So I'll introduce the swimmers to you. Nathan McMurtry of South Lanarkshire goes in 1. Dylan Somerville of South Ayrshire in 2. Keith Brown of City of Aberdeen in 3. Morgan Eriksson of South Aberdeenshire in 4. James Cross of Wigan Best in 5. Jamie MacDonald of Warrender in 6. Jonathan Christie of South Lanarkshire in 7. Luca D'Addario Pollock of Warrender in 8. Gianno Napolitano of North Lanarkshire in 9, and Philip Yule of South Aberdeenshire in 10. It's James Cross of Wigan into the early lead. 18:44 entry. He's already a body length up. And Jonathan Christie in 7, Gianno Napolitano in 9, and then Jamie MacDonald in 6, 1:05.60. About 3.5 seconds faster than Heat 1. So James has set off pretty fast here.
Yeah, I hope he's not gone too quick on that first 100 there.
See how he settles down. 41. 2 and a bit seconds up on Christie. Napolitano third. Maybe Jonathan Christie coming back at James Cross now, so I think signs are that James has settled into something slightly more modest than his fast start. 200 metres will give us a clue. 2:17.71. So that's around about 1:12 pace. 2:19.50 for Jonathan Christie, 2:21.96 for Gianno Napolitano. Quite a gap already between first, second, third, fourth, and then the rest of them. Fourth place, Jamie MacDonald of Warrender. James Cross. He's settled down to a 1:12 pace. We're looking for something like a 3:29, 3:30 for his next split. So let's see if he's on target for that. He's not going to be too far away from it. Jonathan Christie still well within touch. So 3:30.39. So Yep, better of 1:12.5. About 12 seconds now faster than heat 1. 3:31.98. Jonathan Christie, so just a second and a half back. Jonathan Christie, long course champion in the West District junior age groups. One better long course than he did short course. That's a good omen for his swim here in the Aberdeen long course pool. Now within a second and a half of James Cross. James up from Wiggins. I don't know that we've seen him in Scotland before. Great to have the swimmers coming up from south of the border though. And I hope there are some watchers from the Wigan area shouting on for James. 43.70. 1.6 the gap now. Just ease back to 1:13 pace there. It looks like Jonathan Christie also eased back because the gap's pretty much the same. Third place all on his own, Gianni Napolitano of North Lanarkshire. He was third in that West District junior age group meet that was won by Jonathan Christie. And certainly at the moment, it looks like Jonathan Christie is going to get one over him again here. Early days, of course, but quite a gap between them. It looks like the lead is shrinking here. That is almost completely shrunk.
Yeah, Jonathan's just slowly catching James here with every length.
500 meters, 5:56.59 and 5:57.06, and just half a second the gap now.
Jonathan, another good South Lanark freestyle. We've seen a lot of the South Lanark distance freestyles in the last few days, doing well, so he'll be getting tips from them, I'm sure.
You can certainly see the two lead South Lanarkshire coaches making lots of notes on the side of the pool, discussing progress. Oh, thumbs up from Derek McGowan. So things must be going well here. And it is now Jonathan Christie who is in the lead, approaching 600. He's about a metre up on James Cross, 7:09.87. James just getting maybe a bit back in that turn. He's still about half a length clear now of Gianni Napolitano, who himself has about 11-12 metres over fourth place. That's now Philip Yule in lane 10. Ahead of Luca D'Addario Pollock. And in lane 4, Morgan Eriksson. Jonathan Christie is starting to build his lead now. About 3 metres up. So let's see what sort of pace he's setting here. Quite a rapid stroke rate. He's through 8:23.14. About 1:13 pace. 8:26.17 for James Cross, so he's dropped off the pace quite significantly here. So I suspect he's not enjoying this stage of the race.
No, I think he might have just gone a little too fast in that first 200 meters. Jonathan was just looking at the scorecard there, see how many lengths he had left.
Yes, so the turn judges managing those lap cards at the turn end of the pool just to keep the swimmers straight in terms of the number of swimmers, the number of lengths they've still got to go. I guess they ought to be able to manage that themselves, but it's always good to have that reassurance. 1:13 once again, so this is consistent stuff now from Jonathan Christie. Now about 7-8 meters up. This next turn, 900 meters. So comfortably into the second half of the race. And Christie goes through 10:49.38. Really consistent pacing now.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's tying up at all. His stroke still looks exactly the same as when he started. Really strong swim from Jonathan here. His face has changed colour though. It is bright red now.
I guess that's evidence that he is working pretty hard, and the thing to admire about him is that he can sustain it. Shows very strong levels of fitness. Coming up to 1,000 meters. .12:02. Another 1:13, in fact, just less than 1:13 that time. His lead now is 11 seconds over James Cross, and that's been steadily building since Jonathan overtook him. I think James Cross now resigned himself to second place in this heat and has to just set his pace that he can now stick with and go with that. So sometimes if you have gone out too fast early on, you've then got, I suppose, just to make the best of it in terms of the pace you then go at for the rest of the race, knowing that you've done that.
Yeah, he's just going to have to try and keep his stroke together, and maybe in the last sort of 400 meters he might have a little bit extra if he hasn't pushed himself too much in the middle part of the race.
.13, 15:30, so yet again 1:13. 400 to go. So this, I think, is going to be a pretty meaningful improvement on Jonathan Christie's entry time. 18:55 that was. I think he's going to be closest to around 18:10 maybe. So if we can do that, that would be highly impressive.
Coaches are certainly pushing him on now, so I think they believe that he can do a big PB here.
Coming up to 1200. 14:28. Again, just ducking under the 113. Just starting to lap now. Jamie McDonald. He's the one he's going past. So pretty substantial margin now. About half a length between Jonathan Christie and James Cross. And we've got about 50 meters to Giano Napolitano, who's been doing his own thing over there in lane 9. I think that's going to be a pretty good swim from Giano. He's entered 18:59. I think he's going to be pretty well inside that pace. 200 to go for Jonathan, 15:40.64. And about a 112.5 there. So slightly winding it up now. If he can keep doing that in the final 200, it will bring warmth to the heart of Mr. Figgins, his coach. And 50 to go. Christie then takes the bell. Let's just check the time here. 16:53.47. So again, just under the 113. So say he did a 110 for his final 100. It'll be about an 18:03. Yeah, if he really stormed it, maybe he could nick under the 18 minutes. I think that's probably unlikely, but this is a terrific swim.
Oh, yeah, great swim from Jonathan here. He hasn't slipped off the pace once and holds the stroke together throughout this whole race.
17:30 as he turns for home, so we'd have to do a sub-30 final 50 to get under that. That's not going to happen, but notwithstanding that, this is a terrific swim from Jonathan Christie. 18:55.10 his entry time. He's got 20 meters to go now, and he's also got a marker just in front of him, Luca D'Addario Pollock, to pull him on now. So coming towards the final 5 meters, the clock just into the low 18 minutes. So this is terrific stuff. 18:04.42, improves by over 50 seconds. Well done to Jonathan Christie. And he'll get to hang on to that lane rope while the others complete their race. James Cross coming in for second place. So his entry time, 18:44. I think he could be inside that. He is 18:29.75. So talked about him going off too fast. Maybe we're unfair on him because that was still a 15-second improvement.
Yeah, I mean, that's great as well. I think I was maybe just a bit harsh on that first 100.
And Napolitano 18:39.50. So nice improvement for him as well, 20 seconds. So good stuff from our leading trio there. Fourth home is going to be the South Aberdeenshire swimmer, Morgan Eriksson. 19:02 for him. And just behind him, Philip Yule, his teammate. He's also inside his entry time, 19:04.95. Pretty tight for the remaining places. And there's Keith Brown just touching out Luca D'Addario Pollock. Nathan McMurtry and Dylan Somerville also having a good contest there in the near side, just 4/10 apart in the end. So final swimmer completes heat 2. Jamie McDonald put this one down to experience. And we should see the board scrolled down. And confirmation of the result. Expect to see Jonathan Christie at the top, and there he is, 18:04.42. James Cross second, 18:29.75, and Gianna Napolitano in third. So if we can match that sort of PBs in this next heat, we'll be doing well. So in heat 3, we have Logan Patterson of Aberdeen in 1, Sam Huntington, his teammate, in 2, Ryan Davidson of West Lothian in 3, Owen McDonald of Dumfries in 4, Harvey Tate of Hearts in 5, Scott Lilburn of First in 6, Rhys Handley of Dumfries in 7, Joe Tate of Hearts in 8, Andrew McKnight of East Lothian in 9, and Callum Young of South Lanarkshire in 10. Entry times here are 18:08 up to 18:40. So some of these swimmers will be looking to go under 18 minutes here. Good start from Andrew McKnight in lane 9. So we get the yellow version of East Lothian and the black version. Andrew's gone yellow. And he goes through 1:04.85. Just under a second faster than heat 2. First swimmer in lane 6 is Scott Lilburn. So he's up there with Andrew pretty much. And the two Aberdeen swimmers going well on the near side, and lane 4, McDonald of Dumfries. Lane 10, Callum Young of South Lanarkshire, not that far away either. Too soon to tell, really, but at the moment it looks like this might be a closer affair. Scott Lilburn now moving into the lead. So Andrew McKnight maybe just slightly blasting the first 100 and now settling back. So the split in the second heat was 2:17 for the 200. Scott Lilburn will be fairly similar to that. Very similar, 2:17.11. Just 6/10 faster. Now got a 2-second lead. Dumfries' Owen McDonald in second place. Dumfries is another program that seems to produce distance swimmers. Is there something about programs where they specialise in different events?
I think so. Yeah, if you've got a couple of older guys that are good at a certain event, and the younger ones tend to look up to them. And And sometimes the coach will train everyone, you know, in the same sort of session, so that usually helps.
And does that then attract swimmers to maybe join that program? You know,
Yeah, I would say it would. Yes, yeah.
So obviously you went down to the Central Belt from the Aberdeenshire area down into the Stirling program. What were the things that in your mind to decide where to go, and when it was time to make a move? Was it all about academics, or was it about swimming mainly?
It was mainly about swimming. Yeah, I was up here, and then I decided to make the move to Edinburgh first off. There was a couple of breaststrokers there to race against, Catherine Johnston being one of them. And I just wanted a change. I wanted to, you know, I think change is always good with an athlete. So I wanted to make that move, and Edinburgh was where I chose. And then after a few years in Edinburgh, I wanted another change, so I ended up in Stirling. But Stirling program was a great program, and all the facilities there are right on your doorstep. So yeah, it was good for that. There wasn't necessarily breaststrokers there. Well, girls anyway. But for the last year, I've had the pleasure of training with Ross Murdoch, so that's been good.
So we've got the Dumfries swimmer now taking it on, our third leader. Coming to the 400. McDonald is looking pretty good here. 4:42.25. Just a little bit faster than the second heat, about a second and a half. McDonald, 5th in West District senior age group, so I think this potentially is quite a jump in standard for him to be leading by such a margin in this heat. He's one of the 14-year-olds in the pool. We've got 4 13-year-olds. Logan Patterson, Harvey Tate, Joe Tate and Callum Young. There's the 14-year-olds. So got a few in the youngest age group to go in the last heat. So all these swimmers here will need to push on to try and figure on the podium. And then coming to 500, 5:54.53, just over 1:12. Just 400s now between Scott Lilburn and Rhys Handley. We've not talked about Rhys Handley, another Dumfries swimmer. I guess makes the point we made just earlier about distance swimmers in the same program. And on the far side, Callum Young. Very nicely. In 6:30, now 8 seconds up with his teammate now, Rhys Handley, up into second place, just half a second up on Callum Young, and Scott Lilburn is just dropping back a bit now. So I guess this is maybe just more examples of swimmers just struggling to pace the early meters, and then the ones who do it better coming through in that middle stage of the race, and that's what Owen has done. 7:06.52, so he's now the one that's pacing consistently around 1:12. So about a second, half a second to a second faster than the previous heat. 100 meters. Over the distance, that adds up to a reasonable margin. Still tight contest for second. Reece Handley and Callum Young. So Callum going very nicely out in lane 10. So let's talk about not wanting to be in the outside lanes, I guess, because the wash back from the side of the pool. Is that a big issue?
I wouldn't say so, no. But then, I guess on breaststroke there's not as much waves as a freestyle event. So I guess a 100 sprint freestyle, that you might be affected more than the likes of a 1500 here.
So another 112 ticked off for Owen McDonald. 8:18.79. His lead now about 11 seconds. Reece Handley just gaining a bit in that 100 from Callum Young. Then we got on the near side Logan Patterson. Saw him on the podium in the 800 freestyle. Bronze medalist. Was commentating beside his mother for that race, so I was getting quite excited about that. Let's see whether he can push on. He's one of the 13-year-olds. As I said, we've still got 3 in the next heat, so I guess target 1 is to be the leading 13-year-old in this heat and then see what happens in the next heat. Owen, though, in the 14 age group, so he's probably got a tougher task. He has to really set a standard to make them sit up and take notice. 9:31.30. Again, 112. So continuing to move it nicely here. Still the race on for second place, Handley and Young. Andrew McKnight now is, well, I think he was 4th, but I wasn't paying attention to Logan Patterson. He's in 4th. Andrew McKnight just behind him. So that's the first half of the race. And McDonald certainly in charge here.
I think Callum Young has just snuck into second place now, ahead of Reece.
Yeah, that one's been sort of bobbing back and forth a bit, and you would think at some stage somebody's going to make an emphatic move in between those two.
Yep.
Maybe this is the time for Callum Young. Around about a 1:13 that time for Owen, so just slightly slipped back, not a lot, a few tenths. Looks like Reece Handley is sticking with Callum Young. So I don't think we've seen the decisive move in that contest yet. I don't know whether you can see in the broadcast the patterns of light now down the pool as the sun starts to shine here in Aberdeen. Nice dappled effect onto the pool. Interesting window patterns here. Lots of different shapes and of course roof lights as well. 11:57.54, so pace is just slipping a little bit. That was about 1:13.3.
Another 0.4 of a second in that last 100.
Currently around about 4.5 seconds faster than the previous heat, but at the moment pacing slightly slower than Jonathan Christ's pace. So in danger maybe of slipping back behind that pace. Just to keep this in perspective, though, it's entry time 18:20, so if it was around the 18 minutes, it's be a very good improvement. But I think maybe to go, well, firmly into the final third now. It's just maybe slightly getting to Owen. 13:10, let's check that one out. Well, maybe stop the rot. Back under 113 marginally. Callum Young now has about a 2.5 second gap, so we talked about a decisive break, and maybe we're seeing it now.
Yeah, I think so. Callum is just increasing that lead there from Reese. He's in the 13 age group as well, so he'll have watched his teammate Jonathan in the last heat and trying to get as fast as he went.
Yes, so the target there, 18:04.42. I don't think Callum Young is going to be at that pace. Entry time for Callum, 18:40. He's certainly pacing inside that and being urged on by his teammates on the side of the pool. I think that's Angus Barr that's pushing him on. Of course, great distance freestyler himself. Meanwhile, Owen, another 113. So he's going to be around the 18-minute mark, I think. Still about 4.5 seconds faster pacing than Jonathan Christie's split at the same stage. Jonathan finished on 18:04. So he's certainly on the cusp of 18 minutes. We'll need to continue to push it on strongly, though. Including a nice sprint finish. Sure that will all be in the plan. Meanwhile, Jonathan Young now has about 6, 7, 8 meters over Reese Handley, so I think that battle probably all over bar the shouting. 200 to go for Owen, 15:35.90. He's back to the mid-112s. So if there was a slight wobble around that 1,000-meter mark, it was only a short-lived one. And he's back at his best here. It's a bit harsh calling out wobble, really, when he just slipped by maybe a second or so, just for a couple of 100 meters.
Yeah, that's always the hardest part of the race, at 1,000 meters. But once you get closer to the end, you somehow manage to get a little bit more energy.
I guess it is just that confidence that you have left enough and you can finish strongly.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas at the 1,000-meter mark, maybe you're not quite so sure. So, taking the bell. 16:48.77. Again, sub 113. So we need a 111 for the final 100 here to get under 18 minutes. I feel that should be doable. He needs encouragement from the crowd. Dumfries, maybe one of the more passive teams. Haven't heard a lot of noise from them. Certainly getting noise from some of them. South Lanarkshire certainly getting behind Callum Young there. See some others there. So down the last length then. to the final 15. Not seeing those legs really going yet. Just saving that for the last few meters. The clock just coming up towards 18 minutes. Is he going to get under it? Oh, just over, but a great swim. 18:00:24. And his entry time, just to remind you, was 18:20:27, so almost exactly 20 seconds knocked off that. And that is the new fastest time. And the standard time for the 14-year-olds going into the final heat. Callum Young, 18:13:72, so a nice 27-second improvement on him, but the fastest time for the 13-year-olds will be Jonathan Christie's from Heat 2, 18:04:42. So fourth is the worst he can be now. And if anybody slips up in this final heat, he could get himself onto the podium out of Heat 2. That would be a fine performance.
Yep, that really would. He's given himself the best chance for a medal anyway.
Third in that heat, Rhys Handley. He had a good swim there, 18:18. Just at the end, couldn't live with Callum Young's pace, but inside his entry time by 4 seconds. So the 1, 2, 3 confirmed now for you. Owen McDonald, 18:00:24. Callum Young, 18:13:72. And just behind him, Rhys Handley. So the fourth heat underway. These targets have been set and looking to respond to that. We have Craig Smith, City of Aberdeen in 1, Keir Edgar of Carnegie in 2, Nathan Corrigan of Tigers Jersey in 3, William Balfour of North Lanarkshire in 4, Ewan McComish of South Lanarkshire in 5, George Clough of Warrender in 6, Jacob Marchbank of Perth City in 7, Daniel Ferguson of West Lothian in 8, Duncan McKinney in 9 for City of Glasgow, Marshall Illingworth of South Ayrshire in 10. What's quite interesting is that Duncan McKinney opted out of one of the earlier events. Looks like he is saving himself for this one. That was the 100 breaststroke. So we'll see what that means for him. Leading the way, though, in lane 3, Nathan Corrigan, 104.86. Pretty much identical split to the previous heat. Of course, it was Andrew McKnight who went out very strongly in the early stages of that previous heat, but then settled back. Other swimmers took it on. Just remind you of who the swimmers are in each age group. So 3 in the 11 to 13 age group, Keir Edgar in 2, Daniel Ferguson in 8, and Duncan McKinney in 9. The others all going in the 14 age group. So a reminder of the times they've got to beat. So the 3 13-year-olds have to get past Jonathan Christie's 18:04:42. And the others, so in McDonald's time, 18:00:24. Now, 2:17:11 is the split from the previous heat at 200. So this is faster. Nathan Corrigan leading them through 2:14:81. So around about 2.3 faster. Looking down the line, there's maybe about 4 swimmers that are faster than the third heat. There's a line of swimmers in the center of the pool vying for second place behind Nathan Corrigan. Lane 5, Ewan McComish, George Clough in 6, Jacob Marchbank in 7. So strong swims from both George Clough and Jacob Marchbank, and Ewan McComish for that matter. Earlier on, George Clough and Jacob in the breaststroke. Ewan McComish in the 200 fly. So that's some session, isn't it? Start with a 200 fly, finish with a 1500 free. Is that the session you choose?
Oh, that's probably the worst session.
Well, that's what Ewan McComish has set himself up for here, and so far he's thriving on it. 324.94. 110 split for the third 100, and now a reasonably bit faster than the previous heat. Still plenty of swimmers around him. Nathan Corrigan, the early leader in lane 3. George Clough, we saw in that breaststroke. Jacob Marchbank also from that breaststroke is not far away in lane 7. Ewan McComish maybe spurring on from the knowledge that he was 4th place in this event last year. Not the place you want to be. So he'll be very keen, I'm sure, to get a place on the podium. And this one looks as if it's going to be very interesting. 3 swimmers within about a metre of each other. McComish and Clough in the centre lanes, Nathan Corrigan in 3, and then Jacob Marchbank still not that far back. 4:35s for the leading 2. Now 7 seconds now, not 700, 7 seconds faster than the previous heat. So it does look like the 14-year-old medalist at this stage anyway, coming from this heat. Just check on the leading 13-year-old. I think that is Duncan McKinney. So maybe that tactic of ducking out of the breaststroke earlier on, saving himself for this one, is going to bear fruit. So it would be worth checking his split against Jonathan Christie's when he comes to the wall next time. He's sitting in about 5th place now. At the lead, Corrigan just dropping back, so we're down to McComish and Clough at the 500. And they go through in 5:44, 5:45. So 10 seconds roughly faster than the previous heat. So let's just check Duncan McKinney's split, 5:52.25. That is about 4 seconds faster than Jonathan Christie's. So certainly worth keeping an eye on lane 9 here and his pacing. Duncan McKinney. He's got a fair advantage on the other 2 13-year-olds, Keir Edgar in 2 and Daniel Ferguson in 8. Daniel Ferguson, the better of the 2. He's about 6 meters maybe back on Duncan. So that's not insurmountable, but well, you'd like to be closer, I'm sure. Meanwhile, at the front, and the 14-year-old battle, well, synchronized, really.
Yeah, I was going to say they're really battling it out here, and neither one of them want to give up that lead.
6:55.12, so the pacing just around the 110 mark. This is a field where the mind games must start to kick in when you know your biggest rival is right there beside you. You don't know whether you're feeling better than him or he's feeling better than you. Whether he's holding back and is waiting to pounce. Got to watch for any move from them and be planning your own tactics as well.
Yep, they'll both be thinking when they want to make a move, so, and be watching the other to see when they're going to do it.
Of course, the other way of thinking about it is forget him entirely and swim to the plan that you went into the pool with. That's hard to do, I would think, though.
Yeah, very difficult. Some people are really good at doing that, just focusing on solely their own race, but in a race like this, when you're watching each other, it's hard to to not race the person right next to you.
So less than a tenth of a second separating them on the 8:04. So they are gradually extending their advantage over McDonald's splits from the previous heat. So I think you can be pretty sure this is a gold-silver battle here at the front. Just check on Nathan Corrigan's time. And he is also faster than Owen McDonald split. So at the moment he's in the bronze medal position. George Clough just with the slightest of edges now. Well, it's meaningless really. To all intents and purposes, they're together.
Yeah, it looks like Ewan is ever so slightly in front at this turn, so they're just chopping and changing down every 50.
Through the 900, 800 rather, 9:14.28. Well, 69.5 there, so just picked up the pace a little bit, and that's Ewan, I think, that's driving that. So he's making a little bit of a move here. He's got about a metre on George Clough. Just checking Duncan McKinney's split, 9:29.40, so he's still faster than Jonathan Christie's time by about 7 seconds now, so his plan seems to be working well.
Ewan has definitely made a move here. He's kicking his legs a lot harder there, but now George is trying to hold on to him, but Ewan's got a little bit of a gap now.
Yeah, so this is the biggest lead either of them have had. I'm trying to check Ewan's split here, 10:21.97. So he's picked up the pace quite dramatically then. That was a 67.5. So 2 seconds faster than they've been going at. So no surprise, I guess, that he has opened up a bit of a gap. But George Clough, he must have picked up his pace as well to respond. It's not that far back.
No, George doesn't want to let Ewan get too far in front of him here, so he's still holding on to him.
I guess the question is whether that's just a little tester, because I think to suddenly jump from a 110 to 107.5 is asking a lot, and it does look like maybe George is closing the lead back down again now. Still a metre, maybe a bit more than a metre. I love these races when they're like this. It becomes a real tactical battle through the 18 minutes of swimming. 11:31.62, so a second in it. And they are back down closer to the 110 mark. So it does look like that was just a little teaser fast lap from Ewan, just to test out his rival. George, though, didn't panic. And he's still right in the mix. Nathan Corrigan quite a long way back now in third place. He just maybe has to be aware of Jacob Marchbank in lane 7, who's about 5 meters back on him, maybe 6 or 7. So he could possibly come back in the final third.
Daniel Ferguson in the 13-year-old age group is catching Duncan McKinney a little bit as well, so it could be a battle for the 13 age group there as well.
Yeah, that one is certainly closed up. There's only about 3 meters between them, so we've got 2 races going on here, and certainly the one at the front is once again very close indeed. McComish 12:40.94, Clough 12:41.26. Corrigan will turn third. 12:58.94. That's still a fair bit faster than Owen McDonald's split, so he's still very much on track for bronze. Marchbank 13.04, so some 6 seconds back. Check the two 13-year-olds. McKinney 13.06, Ferguson 13.08. That's against the 13.15 from Christie at the same stage, so both of them faster than Christie. I think Jonathan Christie at the moment looking good for the bronze medal, though. We talked about him getting onto the podium, and I think at the moment it looks like he might well do. Oh, back at the front, well. Come on, Kerry. Who's your money on?
Oh, I don't know. I think Ewan earlier was trying to test George there, trying to maybe break him a little bit to try and get out in front, but George has just held his nerve and just on Ewan's shoulder, and now they're both just going at it, so it was hard to call, but I think I'm going to go with George on this one.
Well done. Finally got you off the fence. I think
Yeah.
I'm on the George Clough side as well, but if you're a South Lanark supporter, please don't be too hard on us. And if we get it wrong, well, that would be fair play to you and McComish. We'll see. It is Clough now just with the edge, but it's only 300ths. Meanwhile, still a race to be had in the 11 to 13 age group. Duncan McKinney seems to be holding the gap now over Daniel Ferguson. I'm sure he'll be very aware of who his rivals are in this race and will be aware that Daniel's one of them. At the front, though, it's maybe a half a metre advantage now for George Clough. 200 to go. 14:59.87 plays 15:00.14. McComish, though, is looking strong down this length.
Yeah, he's just brought in his legs again there, so he's trying to get back in front of George now.
So, absolute thriller here. They've just got 150 to go now, and there's only 2/10 in it. Nice turn from George there.
This is going to be a really exciting last 100 from these two.
Just going back to the 13-year-olds, it's still about the same gap, around about 3-4 meters. Great urgings going on there. From the City of Glasgow team that was, supporting Duncan McKinney, but the bell then for Clough and McComish, and it's Clough just with the edge. So 16:08.79, he leads by a couple of tenths, but again, McComish drives out of that turn, and he's got the lead now.
He's just going for it with his legs.
So he is certainly the one who's made the first move here in this final 100. Oh, maybe he's going to prove us wrong here, because he's looking good coming into the final turn. Ewan McComish goes through the final turn, and he now leads by nearly a second from George Clough. So George has to pull something out of the bag here if he is to close that down now, because McComish has got the bit between his teeth. Clough not quite out of it just yet, though. He's still only a metre and a half behind. Half a length to go now, but it's looking like Ewan McComish is going to take it. So both Kerry and I have called this one wrong. It's Ewan McComish who is going to take this one into the final 5 meters. He just had that power. Going into the wall, he takes it 17:12.26. Well, what a great race that was. He improves his time by 9 seconds. Good improvement for George Clough as well, 17:14.34, and a really terrific scrap going on there. Now, as the remaining swimmers go in, it's going to be Nathan Corrigan, you would think, coming in for third, but the race is on in lanes 8 and 9 for the 11, 13-year-old gold medal, and Duncan McKinney has had the advantage throughout. As Corrigan comes in, let's check his time, 17:43.59. That will give him the bronze, and it will be McKinney taking gold in the 11 to 13 age group, 17:49.17. Duncan McKinney of City of Glasgow, a nice improvement for him of 14 seconds. Daniel Ferguson just 2.5 seconds back on him, 17:51.87.
He might be slightly disappointed. His entry time is 17:43, so perhaps he fancied the gold there, but it wasn't to be. Duncan McKinney just had too much for him at the end there, although they were pretty well matched, and maybe just Daniel just maybe slightly too slow in the first half of that race. But a good silver medal for the West Lothian swimmer. Keir Edgar still to finish. He's the last of the 12, 13-year-olds in this heat, so I think we could safely say that the bronze in the 11 to 13 age group will go to Jonathan Christie from Heat 2. So that's a terrific performance from the South Lanarkshire swimmer as Keir just closes off the race, 18:51. Just 12 years old, so that will be a good learning for him. I'm sure he'll come back strongly. He'll still be in the 11 to 13 age group next year. So watch out for him then. So that swim off that we talked about earlier is coming up next. Ross Neely of West Lothian against David Rowan of Kilmarnock, and this is in the 100 breaststroke.
Ross Neely in lane 6, Kilmarnock. David Rowan.
Paul, do you know what their time was in the heats? So we have Ross Neely in the dark blue in lane 5, David Rowan in the light blue in lane 6. It's David off to the faster start. (1:16.73) was their time in the heat. Oh, it's very close between them here. I think David Rowan has the edge. We'll know for sure when they touch the board. Well, very close indeed. 100th in it. 36.08.
Wow, this is going to be an exciting second 50.
And in fact, it was Ross Neely just getting the touch, and it looks like he has got the edge coming down this second length. The West Lothian swimmer in lane 5, but David Rowan will not let it go here. Swimmers nearly always swim faster in a swim-off than they did in the heat. 1:16.73 was their time in the heat. And it is Neely with the slight advantage here. 10 metres to go. Well, it's less than half a metre in it. Rowan doing his best to come back at him. But it's going to be Ross Neely, I think, who takes it. He comes in 1:15.77. 1:16.41. David Rowan takes second. Both of them faster than they were in the heats. 1:15.77, almost a complete second faster from Ross Neely. So Ross Neely will take 10th spot in the 14-year-old final. That's what that was about. So he'll get to swim it 3 times today. Nearly always swimmers swim faster in the swim-off than they do in the heat. So
I know I did when I had my swim-off, so I only ever did one swim-off. And yeah, I did go significantly faster in the swim-off than I did in the heat.
Is that just the adrenaline of the head-to-head?
Yes, yeah, I think so, yeah. Always very exciting race in a swim-off.
Yep, and that one was a good one. But we now move to relays. 2 heats with the fastest this evening. The girls 10 to 14 years medley relay. Three swimmers leading us off here. Geary with Hostia and Ute in 4. Catherine Ruff of Perth City in 5. Sophie Smith of St Thomas in 6. And we think of Sophie Smith as a freestyler, but she did get onto the podium on backstroke. So she's doing the backstroke for her team here. Obviously, St Thomas coach just deciding on the best perm of the resources available to him, and it's Geary leading the way. Hostia and Ute leading 35.65, just a second up on St Thomas, with Perth City in 3rd place. About a body length advantage for Geary. Steer putting in a good opener here. Coming to the first changeover from 13.47. So far, I hope I'm not talking too soon here, but the takeovers have been very clean so far this week. I don't know that we've seen a single DQ for a flyer at the takeovers.
Yeah, which is unusual for any relay, but especially an age group meet, because you're not used to doing relay takeovers. But I've been watching them, and the relay takeovers have definitely improved since the last time I watched an age group meet.
So that's evidence of good discipline as well as good coaching. And taking it on now is Gemma Ogg for Geary up against Hannah Edgley for Perth City and Hannah Cool for St Thomas. They're very well matched, those two. Turning together, but it's Geary still leading, 1:56.54, nearly 3 seconds up now. So Gemma Ogg, the 13-year-old, doing her best to hold on to this Geary lead. St Thomas maybe just coming back a bit. Hannah Cool for them. They just got ahead of Perth. Good Midlands battle there. But it is Geary still with the advantage. In fact, Perth coming back at St Thomas. (2:45.06) at halfway. So this all change in the third leg of this one with Freya Thompson. Now Freya has had an excellent meet and she is showing her class here in the butterfly, and Perth City now well clear of the other two teams. Heather McIntosh, Ashley Thompson, the two other swimmers involved for Geary and St Thomas respectively, but Perth City now looking very strong. Freya Thompson putting in an excellent butterfly, 3:54.53. She hands over to Abigail Queen, hopefully recovered after her 200 freestyle where she just died at the death, but she's only got 100 to do here, so hopefully she'll be fine, and she's got a big lead to protect. Good contest between Geary's Lauren McPhee and Elle McMillan for St Thomas for second place here. But it's Perth City, 4:25.70 with 50 to go. A long way clear now. Still nothing in it for second. Geary and St Thomas. Geary, I think, have the edge there. But it's Perth City, 15 metres to go. Still the contest on for second, but at the front, it's Perth City, just over the 5 minutes, 5:00.76. Looks like Geary just have second place. Can Lauren McPhee hold it? Oh, it's close. Oh, very close. Just 300ths in the end, but it was Geary just getting second there. 5:12.72. And Arbro St Thomas, 5:12.75. So coming to the last race of the afternoon session. Just a reminder.
Sorry, is it the graphics we're apologising for?
So I understand that there's been a few buffering problems where they might just have had a bit of a jerky picture coming out to you. A few delays in the transmission, so apologies for that. We'll get our technical gurus working on that between sessions, and hopefully all will be resolved before we come back for the final session. But before that, we've got one more race for your delight. So in Heat 2 of this relay, we've got North Lanarkshire led by Robin Morrison in 1, Lucy Buchan for first B team in 2, Dumfries with Sophie Dodd in 3, Highland with Lucy Williamson in 4, Mulgai and Bearsden with Megan McCormack in 5, Stirling with Madeline Gill in 6, Hayley Lister leading off for Carnegie in 7, Merrin Thompson for South Aberdeenshire in 8, North Ayrshire in 9 with Katrina Fowley, and Afford Otters Lauren Leslie goes for them in lane 10. So 5:00.76 the time from the first heat. There's one more heat to go this evening. Leading the way in lane 9, it's Katrina Fowley for North Ayrshire. About 2 meters up. Quite a lot of noise around the venue here as all the teams getting behind their respective favourites. And North Ayrshire responding to that have got themselves a good advantage here in lane 9. Katrina Fowley has put in a good opener for them, 1:11.53. Taking it on for North Ayrshire is Rebecca Weir in the breaststroke. Second place, I think, in lane 3 is Dumfries Eve White, so we should see a good swim from her, the Youth Development Squad member. Also coming up strongly is Carlin Kennington for South Aberdeenshire. And she's in second place now. And closing on North Ayrshire. Also over on the far side, Erin Jones going well for Afford. And in lane 6 in the yellow cap, Stirling's Emily Eason. Lane 2 as well. Anya Reid for first. Oh, we could have a tight contest to finish on here. Rebecca Weir still holding the advantage for North Ayrshire in lane 9. That lead has shrunk considerably, and South Aberdeenshire, maybe in particular, in lane 8 are moving up well. Lanes 2 and 3 also. Dumfries in 3, first in 2. So they're the 4 leading the way now. And in lanes 9 and 8, there's nothing in it now. North Ayrshire still just tiny fraction of a lead over South Aberdeenshire, but I don't think any more. Look at first coming up in lane 2. They're now the new leaders, 2:35.72. This is quite a bit faster than the first heat, and taking it on for first now is Ashley Reid. Dumfries going well, Anya Watt for them. For South Aberdeenshire, it's Megan Grant, and it's Emma Scully for North Ayrshire. Carnegie just behind them, Claire Lee, and beside them, Zoe McDonald for Mulgai and Bearsden. And Stirling's Rebecca Matthewson. Looks like it's a change in lead once again, South Aberdeenshire now. So a good third leg from Megan Grant. But still maybe 5 or 6 teams in the hump, but as we saw in the first heat, maybe Butterfly is going to be the critical factor here. Megan Grant has opened up a very handy lead here for South Aberdeenshire. I guess, Kerry, you've still got a soft spot for a South Aberdeenshire team.
I do indeed. I'm willing these girls to win this one here.
3:48.10. It's 3:50.29 for Emma Scully, so 2 seconds the gap there. Emma Scully handed over to Abby Freeman, but it's Leona Turner looking to protect that South Aberdeenshire lead. Watch out for lane 5 now. Mulgai and Bearsden's Beth Camilleri. She's moving up well. Lane 3 also still in the mix. Gemma McLeod on the anchor for Dumfries. Coming to the final turn. It's still South Aberdeenshire. Check their lead, 4:19.33. It's about 1.6 now, so it's shrunk a bit. And they hold on down this final length. I think the challenge coming from Mulgai and Bearsden and Dumfries, but I'm not sure they're going to do it. because South Aberdeenshire look to have this one in hand. Carnegie are moving up to challenge for the minor places, but South Aberdeenshire with 10 metres to go, about 3-4 metres up. South Aberdeenshire are not going to be caught now. They take it 4:53.49. Dumfries takes second, 4:54.92. And Carnegie is strong last leg from there. Maily Collier doing that for them, bringing them up into third place, 4:55.99. So 4:53.49 will be the time taken into the final heat tonight. And that's South Aberdeenshire who has that. So just confirming that last result. South Aberdeenshire 4:53.49, 4:54.92 for Dumfries, 4:55.97 for Carnegie in third place. So thank you, Kerry, for your company this afternoon. We're going to have exciting finals tonight. The 200 butterfly, 200 freestyle for the girls, 100 breaststroke for the boys, 100 backstroke for the girls, and that meet relay to finish us off, plus the older relays. We'll be back on air around about 5:20. Any highlights from this afternoon that stick in your mind?
I really enjoyed that last 1500 from the boys between Ewan and George. That was a really exciting race. Such a long race, but they kept us on our toes the whole way.
Yes, that was terrific stuff, and congratulations to both of them. Of course, we still have presentations for that to come, so we'll be able to just have a look at them getting their medals very shortly, along with the 11 to 13-year-olds, because there was that race between Duncan McKinney and Daniel Ferguson going on in the same heat. 2 races within one. And not forgetting, of course, that terrific swim from Jonathan Christie in the early heat. And he'll get his reward for that. Don't forget, of course, that Ewan McComish did a 200 fly at the beginning of the session, so he's had a busy afternoon, and he'll be back tonight doing the 200 fly again. See if he can add more medalware into the trophy cabinet in the McComish household.
I'm just noticing across the other side of the pool another interesting wig from Steve Funai, the head coach of Dundee. Looks like he's got a Mohican on today.
And it suits him well. So the fanfare sounding in the pool for our first presentation. Again, I think it's going to be Eddie Wilmot, the SASA Vice President, will be making these presentations. Very experienced referee, of course, Eddie, on the jury of appeal for this meet. If you want to protest any DQs, he's the man you've got to convince. And in fact, James Cross getting the bronze there. Callum Young the silver.
And the gold medalist, the Scottish Gas National Age Group Champion 2014 from South Lanarkshire, Jonathan Christie.
Just checking on the results there, because just confirmed, pretty sure that the leads there would be Duncan McKinney and Daniel Ferguson and Jonathan Christie, the 1, 2, 3 there. So getting different names announced at the venue, but just wait for confirmation of that. But I'm pretty sure that's the way it lands after that final heat, when we had McKinney and second place Daniel Ferguson. Sure it's McKinney, Ferguson, Christie, the 1, 2, 3. There you go. And that is confirmed, so slight confusion there, but they got their medals. I think we've given them to the right people. As we go to the 14-year-old presentation. So Nathan Corrigan getting a bronze medal there. He swam in that final heat. He did it all by himself, really, on his own, behind the leading pair. So he needed good concentration to maintain his pace for that bronze medal. George Clough getting the silver, just missing out in that titanic tussle. And missing out to this man, Ewan McComish of South Lanarkshire. So he takes the gold, not for the first time. Photo for posterity has been taken. And that, I think, is just about our last piece of business for the afternoon session. As I mentioned, we'll be back on air around about 5:20. Hopefully we'll have sorted out our technical issues by then. So that's around about an hour's time. So you can get the kettle on. We quickly go out and mow the grass. And then be back glued to your computer screen or iPad for what should be a really exciting fourth day of finals. But until then, from me, Duncan McKinnell, from my co-commentator, Kerry Buchan, a very good afternoon to you.
Is a come and try session for open water swimming at the Helix, a brand new man-made lagoon by Falkirk Community Trust. Scottish Swimming is trying to encourage more adults to become physically active through aquatics. This is the start of a much bigger project to try and get more adults involved in swimming.
First time doing open water swimming in a wetsuit in fresh water. You know, I've done a lot of open water swimming in the sea.
I've tried swimming in the sea before, but not in a lake or a lagoon.
I've started doing the elements of triathlon, and this is the last element, the swimming part. That's what held the most fears for me. So having something like this on my doorstep is fantastic.
There's a lot of people are so apprehensive about doing it, and then they come along and they're like, oh, he's that size or she's that size. I could have been here months ago.
The amount of things and tips that I learned, it's actually took my fear away a little bit. I really enjoyed it.
It was good to learn the techniques of keeping up with the person in front of you, techniques for sighting, all about the energy conservation, which I wasn't really aware of before.
We have a number of what are called masters swimming clubs, and these are clubs for adults to go swimming. It's really about adults getting a little bit of coaching, improving their fitness, and actually just having a really good time.
It's the whole atmosphere. I think everybody's really up for it and everybody's really friendly.
The tuition, the facilities, and just the camaraderie with the people in the water was fantastic.
The beauty of masters and open water is you don't have to be a really good swimmer, you know. It's all about participation. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but yeah, it's just about getting in there and just having some fun and and enjoying it.
This is all about fun, fitness and friendship. The sun is shining, people are smiling, they've all had a great time, the water's even quite warm, and it's just all happening here at the Helix.